These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
We're going down, down in an early round. Sugar, we're going down swinging. I'll be a number one with a bullet. Loaded gun complex, cock it and pull it.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket, episode 95. I am your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Fulsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you?
Too drunk to be this early in the
Already?
podcast. Yeah, I'd say.
How did that
I'm
happen?
not drunk. That's over-exaggerating. You know me. I get bodacious with my claims.
You do, yeah.
Real tale teller over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's a troublesome buzz, is how I would describe it. I gotta cool it down before you lose control. That's a new edition, motherfucker.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
I don't break into song too often, but you don't get an odd chance to do early new edition too often.
No, I know you don't. I gotta respect it, I guess.
Because it's off-putting.
Especially, I don't know that song, so
It's
imagine
like from-
my dismay.
It's from New Edition, like from the 80s, and they were like little kids, because they also had like a 90s career too, where they're a little more saucy because they were adults, I guess. Like, did any other boy bands really have that? Other boy bands like had such a short shelf life. Like, I mean, like
I feel like other boy bands came in saucy.
yeah, and like the rest, like NSYNC never became a band again because Justin Timberlake became big. Backstreet Boys, did they maybe have a hit in the last 5 years? I think.
I know they for sure toured.
Yeah,
They for sure
so
got
they maybe
back
just
together
been
for
a nostalgia
reunion.
act. I was thinking maybe they did squeak one past the goalie and have another hit.
Maybe.
I
To
might
be fair, I'm
wrong.
not up to date on
Yeah.
my pop music for the
Yeah.
most part. So
Yeah, I definitely could be off there. But yeah, usually with the boy bands, there's about an 18-month window of success, and then it's all over. But by God, if New Edition had come back like 8 years later, like as like early 20s guys, you know, so they could sing about fucking. Oh, that's what this just gross, like not even sexy, just like clinical.
yeah. Real clinical, real descriptive.
Yeah. what rhymes with fallopian tubes? Just flipping through medical journals.
Nothing rhymes with over the jeans hand job.
Smegma. God, over the jeans hand job. Oh,
Think
man.
of a worse thing.
God, I can only barely remember the day I had a dick awake enough to reach climax.
I thought you were going to say to reach your jeans.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not these days. Now you got to take it out and step on it or something.
Give it a good talking to. I need hot and cold. It's like a Beekman's World experiment.
What are the five flavors of torture? Hot, cold, sharp, blunt, and loud.
Oh, Jesus. Holy shit.
Listen, baby, we're gonna need to hit 3 out of 5 here. It's up to you. What 5? Just honking at your dick with an air horn like it's a soccer game.
Yeah.
Oh. Whew.
Fun. Fuck.
Good times.
I'm going to vote against Sharp if I can help it. Jesus.
Speaking of dick torture, I watched that new Jackass movie, which I gotta say, not as good as I was hoping, but I had an emotional reaction to the new and last Jackass movie of like, oh, that's fucking end of a road, man. That's end of an era. Like, that's... Ooh. As far as pure laughs, I would call it number 3 out of the 4. I think it's better than the first, but not as good as 2 and 3. But, man, that was a...
lot of dick torture.
lot of dick torture. Jesus.
Nutsack torture, just genital torture.
There is more hog in that movie.
A lot of hog and beanbag.
Yeah, a lot of
Getting
bag.
both, yeah.
A lot of bag.
I bet the censors struggle to figure out because if you showed that much dick in a movie with sex, it'd be X-rated.
Right, but it's non-sexual.
Yeah, it's just limp dicks with a bunch of dudes chilling out in a fucking La Quinta Inn, just figure out ways to beat each other's nutsacks up.
There's nothing sexual about it. It's just how many sheet metal screws can we put into Chris Pontius's Johnson?
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
That's all it is. There's not, I mean, maybe there's something sexual about it to somebody, but I think the grand majority, not at all. As somebody who played a lot of paintball in your youth, how did you feel? Because you've seen it also. How did you feel about Steve-O getting shot in the side of the hog with a paintball gun and having that big fucking welt?
Oh, fuck.
I
forgot
immediately
about that.
thought of you,
Yep.
which take it as a compliment if you want.
I was early in a conversation before we started recording. I was thinking about how much it would suck to get hit in a knuckle with a paintball. I can't, I don't know. Fucking a nut. Was it in his dick?
Yeah, right in the side of the hog.
I'd much prefer to take a dick shot than a nut. A nut shot would put you in the hospital.
I'm with you.
Nuts are pussies. Dicks can take. Dick's got a Dick LaMotta chin. They can take a beating. You never knock me down, Ray.
Nuts are pussies is a T-shirt to be had for sure.
Yeah.
But fucking Steve-O pulls his hog out and he's got this fucking paintball welt on the side of it. Jesus.
And the thing that sucks with them, often they'll become a big fucking blood blister.
Oh,
I don't want blood blisters. My genitals.
Especially as a 51-year-old man.
51 years old, but he's living right, I guess, now,
I guess. I hope he saved up all his comedy club money.
Homie's got some real estate on that dick, though. He's doing okay.
He's doing all right. He's no Pontius. Pontius has got hog all day.
Hog all day. Your first album title.
Hog all day. That's a pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
I should write that down. It was good. It was a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking slapstick is universal. Slapstick will always be funny.
Yep. And then the new cast members, they were fine.
They're fine. The Zach, the big fat one, new Preston or whatever you want to call him. He was funny.
Preston with better knees. I'm sure Preston's aging out.
Yeah. Yeah, they all are, man.
Yeah,
They're all
right.
in their fucking 50s.
Oh, that's wild. Even the amount of punishment they do take, that's crazy at that age.
Yeah. The bear sketch might be my favorite Jackass thing of all time, which is really saying something because I adore Jackass.
Yeah, that bear sketch. Whew. Man, there must have been some prep work because that could have went so bad.
How many
quick.
people do you not see on camera with guns and tranks and nets just
Holy
at the ready?
Yeah.
To not let Aaron McKay die.
Oh, yeah. And they ain't going to shoot a bear in today's climate willy-nilly. So that bear would have to really rear up.
That ain't going to get the no animals were harmed in the making of this film stamp.
I don't know. That goddamn toy race car up the ass from the first movie.
It was great.
It cracks me up. Just one of my favorite things is the lead up when they originally want Steve-O to do it, and he calls his dad,
and he's disappointed.
He's like, he wasn't even mad. He said he was disappointed. That I just realized that hurts worse.
Yeah, big time.
And you could tell they were young and gung ho, so it really was hard on him to say no, but he had to. And then Ryan Dunn Fetcher's like, sure, like he asked him just hey, could you grab the mail on the front stoop? And go, okay, I'm walking in, sure.
Those are my two biggest unfortunate, can't do anything about it letdowns in the new one. You really miss Ryan Dunn and you really miss Bam Margera, who I didn't expect to miss because he was always one of my least favorite members, but you miss Bam's energy. That in the new movie.
Wish he could have been there.
Me too.
You know what? We live and we learn.
Jackass is one of the most culturally relevant and important things that my generation ever put out there, or the generation before me, because I was absorbing it in my youth. But Jackass is important.
Oh man, I'm with you. Been riding that train since day one.
Yeah.
In my head, I always put that and Tom Green together. Not that they're similar. They're kind of similar. They're both doing shit in public. But I think just because they debuted close together.
Yeah. Like they all go in the same bucket as far as MTV programming of the time.
Even though I'm pretty sure Tom Green's about at least a year prior, but that's riveting podcasting.
Yeah, look for the new podcast where we talk about old MTV originals programming.
When did it debut?
Join us next week when we talk about Undressed.
Oh man, you know that redheaded gal from Mad Men with the insane curves? She was on Undressed.
Really?
Back in the day.
Good for
Enough
her.
to catch a young Nathan's eye. Like, that is a good-looking lady. Look at her. 20 years later, still making money. Good for her.
I've never watched that show.
Mad Men, no, I haven't either. I just know of her.
Yeah. I just know of January Jones, who's the blonde gal.
Oh, there is another pretty lady on that show.
And I just know of her because she's in that X-Men movie, First Class.
Oh, no shit. Okay. Yeah. Is she the White Queen or whatever they call that character?
She's the one who turns into diamonds. She's a bad guy. She's like Kevin Bacon's Squeeze in that movie.
Oh, fuck, I
because
forgot
they
he's
kind of
even
do
in it.
Hellfire Club, Sebastian Shaw.
I think that'd be White Queen then, yeah.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
It's
how often am I going to have the trump card and comic book
right.
talk?
Yeah. No, it's I don't know enough about X-Men to know her name. I just know that she's from Mad Men, but I had never seen it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's...
I think I watched the pilot of that show when it first, Netflix streaming started being a thing, and it was like, oh.
And they had AMC right away, too.
I was like, I'll watch this one. And everyone claims this is good, and I watched the pilot, and I was like, this is fucking boring.
I wonder if, I should give it a try the way people rant and rave about
me
it, but
too.
it does seem like it ain't gonna grab you because there's no meth labs exploding. There's no drive-bys. It's just advertising.
I got more important things I should give a try to.
Yeah.
Getting some sun.
Yeah, see what the sun looks like.
We're about 13 minutes into our Jackass podcast.
It's another television program people
What's
can
that?
watch. The Simpsons.
Oh, look at that. Masterful.
What are we, season 22?
You got it.
Wow. Episode 3. So we're just cracking the door.
Yeah, we just dipped a toe last week.
Yep. So now we're officially in. Episode 3 is Money Bart. We get a lot of Banksy just name drops in the intro.
Banksy animated this intro.
Oh, no shit. Oh, really?
Yeah, this is, as far as I know, this is the first guest intro. Because this occasionally has been a thing. Like, I know Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty do an intro later. Much later, obviously. This is back in 10 or 11. But Banksy did the intro to this.
Huh.
Yep, this was, as far as I know, the first guest animator for the Couch Gag.
I had no idea. I didn't think it looked different enough to think it was another animator, but
I thought that too when I was watching it. I was like, maybe he just directed, because I knew going in that at some point in the 20s, Banksy did an intro for the show.
Okay.
But when I was watching it, I was like, maybe he just directed it and didn't animate it. But it turns out, from what I read anyway, sounds like he did the animation.
it was it was dark.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of bleak.
I like it. I like I like Banksy because I'm a basic bitch. But like, I liked it. Poke fun at 20th Century Fox and fucking, sweatshop labor that we all live on every fucking day.
Shows how their merch was made.
Yeah. I like I think my favorite of the whole thing is the dolphin head
As the
using to tape
to seal
the
boxes shut before they mail them.
I thought that was the nicest touch, the funniest touch.
So in this episode, the only person to ever attend an Ivy League school comes back to Springfield Elementary for a visit. And Lisa, of course, is very intrigued by this because she sees herself as Ivy League material. But she kind of realizes that, hey, you are falling behind. Because what is it like? Lisa always sees herself as such a go-getter, and she announces, well, I do this and I do that.
Yeah.
And then the woman, I don't even know if we get her name.
Dahlia Brinkley.
Okay. Oh, shit, really?
Good name.
Yeah.
Dahlia is a good name.
And Dahlia's like, oh, you're never going to get into Ivy League that way.
Yeah, she's like, what, that's it?
Yeah, it's like, at your age, I already had like the school cowering before my feet. You have to do so much more. And Lisa's like, what? Okay, I guess. Now she doesn't know what to do. What kind of goddamn clubs are there for an 8-year-old to join outside of athletics, you know?
Yeah. Like when I was growing up, you had 4-H club. That wasn't school.
That's one, I guess.
Wasn't school, but that's one.
Yeah. So Lisa's now has to figure out what the hell she can do to get more clubs under her name. Flanders stops by the Simpsons house, and God, there's a line. Homer answers the door, don't you have another neighbor you can bother? His fucking response, and diddly diddly I do, and I love him just as much as you. It's a Flanders sandwich with great friends as bread. Jesus Christ. That's such a great way to respond.
Oh, God. I love Ned so much.
So Flanders is there to tell Bart he's resigning as the coach of their little league team. Bart is distraught because they're just like, well, no one wants to coach us. And that's when they show up to practice, and Lisa is the coach. And you can imagine they don't take it well.
Especially Bart, yeah. Because she doesn't know shit about baseball. Yeah. She just needs the extracurricular points. I did like also that she apparently is considering joining fencing club because she's fencing with Maggie, and Maggie kicks her ass.
Yeah, just going to say Maggie gets very aggro very quick.
Yeah, that was fun. I think there's some pretty solid Maggie content in this whole batch.
Have that noted. I was like, God, we get a lot of Maggie in this batch here.
I also want to point out that Homer, Homer unscrews the cap on a jar of mayonnaise, pours a bunch of vodka in, shakes it like a cocktail shaker, and takes it to the head. And I can't think of a worse cocktail than a vodka mayo.
And he just collapses, and we hear him groaning.
Yeah.
Or shuddering, maybe more.
Can you imagine? What would it take for you right now to drink one big or two moderate mouthfuls of vodka mayo? I don't have mayonnaise, just so I'm not setting you up.
Fuck, that would suck. I'd do it for $100.
Sure, I mean, so would I.
But I mean, I would have an unpleasant night.
Yeah,
maybe 100 isn't enough. Depending on how sick it would make me.
I don't like mayo.
I'll say I don't want mayo with my fucking. I've never once had a drink. Like, God, if this only had some mayo.
If this could only be creamier and thicker.
Start asking the bartender for fucking Miracle Whip. You could just get a side of Miracle Whip.
I mean, I'd way rather
with your beer. Well, yeah, that's what I ordered.
Can I get a tall Miller Lite with olives and a Miracle Whip back?
God, yeah, fucking. We've went into the Miracle Whip versus mayo wars before.
Miracle Whip all day.
That's a tasty treat.
Like mayonnaise is fine, but whatever.
Get that zip.
Gotta have that tang. I love Miracle Whip. I would wear a Miracle Whip T-shirt in public.
You got a good looking logo.
They got a good. It's a classic.
Yeah. I would wear a Miracle Whip hat.
Yeah, let's get some Miracle Whip merch.
Oh man, we need fucking Miracle Whip. Like in the late 90s, when they thought that like snowboarding was extreme and like winter jester hats were cool with a big Miracle Whip logo on the front.
You and I thought of two very different hats, because the hat I thought of, like, think of like a trucker hat, big tall crown, mesh back, snapback, but always for whatever reason had that string, that piece of yarn where the crown meets the bill. Yep. I'm picturing white crown, blue bill.
Oh, I'd wear that. That actually sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm behind that 110%.
Let's get Nathan some Miracle Whip hats.
Miracle Whip, are you listening?
Listen, Miracle Whip, fucking still no word. All silent on the Western Front from Long John Silver's. Miracle Whip, there's a sponsorship slot open.
There's a vacancy waiting for you to fill it, Miracle Whip.
I will launch this campaign of Miracle Whip. fuck mayonnaise.
Yeah,
Like,
right
that's
there we
the
go.
whole
Yeah.
campaign.
They can't say it. We can.
Go to Hellman's. Ugh. Listen, we'll work on it.
Yeah.
There's no bad ideas in brainstorming.
We'll bring it to the lab. So the boys are very skeptical, and Lisa is not doing anything to help curb this skepticism because she doesn't know what's going on in baseball.
This is what I would be like if I were coaching a baseball team.
So Lisa goes into Moe's to talk to her dad. Like, Bulmer's so drunk, he doesn't seem to recognize it. It's like, hey, pal, how's it going? Calling your daughter pal is awesome. So they don't, and he's an idiot. They doesn't know anything about baseball, nor does Moe or any of the other fucking barflies. And then I think this maybe is Moe, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's like, well, those dorks over there might know.
Yeah, those nerds, those idiot, whatever he calls them, they know about baseball.
And who do we get besides Professor Frick?
I think Frink is the only one I recognized.
Yeah. The rest of them aren't characters that I could tell.
One might be supposed to be Database's dad.
Yeah, because he's
like, he kind of looks like him. But I don't think there's any other major characters at that table.
So they're just sitting there with computers. They're crunching numbers. Turns out they're Moneyball nerds. You well-versed in Moneyball.
Not at all. I was so lost in this whole episode.
Did you ever see the movie?
No.
It's crazy they made a captivating movie out of that whole concept.
Is it good? It's a good movie?
Great movie. Very good movie.
Jonah Hill, Brad Pitt.
Yep. You about nailed it. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, I like him.
Good cast.
I'll pour one out.
Yep. It's just about like in the early 2000s, a couple of general managers. Bill James wrote, because they talk about the book, it's like, I'm the man that made baseball seem like accounting, because this guy named Bill James did all this weird math and realized, the numbers that we value in baseball, RBIs, especially RBIs and wins for a pitcher, they're pointless. They're stupid. They're too much dependent on luck. He did all this weird math and figured out all these weird, they call them sabermetric stats, like ROI plus, WBOWP, like all these like wins versus replacement. WAR is a big stat now. And like you look at it, it's like, this is insanity. But now I think if you were to take a look at of the 30 Major League Baseball teams, it's now like 28 out of 30 have a sabermetrics disciple.
Using that system.
Yeah, there's like 2 teams that still have a guy born in the 30s who's like,
fuck that.
And the movie like shows it well. Like they have like the scouting room, like, and I think a lot of it's taken from like what they talk about. He's got an ugly girlfriend. He ain't got no self-esteem if a guy like that's got an ugly girlfriend, or just like, I don't like how, he just doesn't have a good walk. He doesn't walk confident. We don't want to draft a guy. And then, like I can't think of the guy's name. He's to this day, he runs the Oakland Athletics. He's been there for 20 years. Okay. And he's like, well, if you look at these numbers, this is the guy we should go after. And that's a revolution was born. And now baseball, like, well, it's stretching to football. The fucking Minnesota Vikings are now ran by an Ivy League graduate who's never stepped on a football field.
But is good with the numbers, knows the stats.
Yeah, and I mean, baseball, I think, lends itself to it. Well, that's why in the NBA, it's why they all shoot three-pointers now. Because enough stat people have proven shoot threes, because 35% of three-point shots is the equivalent of hitting 25% of your 2-point, or hitting 50% of your 2-point shots. Plus, there's a better chance of getting a rebound, an offensive rebound off of a 3 versus a 2-pointer. That's why basketball, everyone's shooting from half court now. Yeah. Because the math proves it out.
Because that arms race then goes up further of like, well, everyone shoots threes now in order to stand out. Mm-hmm. You then have to shoot from further back. Yep. Like the 3 points in the NBA is crazy. And you either think it's fun or you think it ruined the game. Yep. It's one or the other. But like it's different, that's for sure.
It's like funny that like it wasn't that long ago Kobe Bryant was arguably the best player of the NBA.
Yeah.
His game he would have been coached out of playing that way.
Yep.
Shooting turnaround 18-foot jumpers is like the worst shot. That's if you're coaching and that you're on defense, that's the shot you want your opponent to take.
Yeah.
Because it's a 2-point shot that doesn't have a good percentage of a chance of going in. Which,
who gives a shit? We're going to shoot threes on you every play.
Yep, exactly.
Enjoy your 2 points that we're going to leave you in the dust on.
It's crazy how much baseball's the sports have changed in the last 20 years.
Hockey went through a similar statistics thing in, I think, after the strike of like 05 when they made a bunch of rule changes into the 2010s as the internet got more prevalent. Like hockey stat nerds started creating new mathematics, and no, we need to look at this category, not this one, and we need to change how we calculate it. And now they have a whole section of those nerds also.
Like, I know nothing about hockey, but I could see maybe one thing is like, well, you can't judge a guy's assist numbers because an assist is dependent on the players around you. And if you're surrounded by hopeless skill position players, you can't be judged because your assist numbers aren't as good as this other guy who's surrounded by fucking snipers.
Yeah.
Just like that's why wins for a pitcher is not irrelevant, but it's not a good stat to judge a guy on. It's like, what if your team can't score any fucking runs?
Yeah,
you're not going to win.
fault.
Yeah, you're not going to win any game. Or then there were the flip side of that. There's guys that are just mediocre pitchers who are on a juggernaut offensive team. They get 19 wins because they're spotted 7 runs every game. Like So, and that's gone. I mean, like that's a thing that's changed. They don't even look at wins when they decide the Cy Young anymore, which is wild to think. That's what, like, oh, you're a 20-game winner. I don't need to look at anything else. You're an all-star caliber player. Well, that's like end sentence, but no.
Yeah, you brought up Cy Young, so I have to encourage everyone to go listen to the Dollop episode on Rue Boisdel. I believe it's episode 12 of the Dollop.
Yeah.
It's maybe the most insane sports story I've ever heard.
It was a different time.
Different time.
Very, very different time.
Rube, come on.
So Lisa talks to these nerds and they explain that, baseball is just math. And if you use these mathematical properties, anyone can lead a baseball team to success. And Lisa, this is the only option she has, she does. And she goes to the team, tells them we're going to play it this way. And by God, as she gets going with their sabermetrics, and they are on a winning streak. But she's putting all the stats and the probability into play, moving players. That's a big part of baseball, though, is shifting. So they're always fucking, half your team or 90% of your team's on one side of the infield because statistically that guy's going to hit it over there, that kind of shit.
This guy hits to the right side when facing a left-handed pitcher 70% of the time. Yep. That's crazy. That's so much math.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, they have a graph down, like you take 1.5 steps left, 3.5 steps back. And just, you're always moving now. Okay, no, this is where this guy hits. So 10 steps to your right. If you're an outfielder, 3 steps back, all sorts of whack. No one steals fucking bases anymore. Fucking Ricky Henderson in the early 80s stole more bases in one season than most teams do now.
Why? Why
it's
why
proven
did
to be
that go away?
It's proven to be statistically an unwise choice. You have to baseball, what they realize is the key to winning in baseball is not committing outs. That's why back in the day, as a kid, no, you didn't even look at on-base percentage. You looked at batting average. But they realized batting average is not as important as your on-base percentage because your on-base percentage is
sure
a single and a walk are the same.
Yeah,
and a strikeout and a foul ball or a ground out are the same because it used to be you don't want to strike out. You don't want to strike out. Well, what's it matter?
Because strikeout is ego.
Yep,
once you take humanity out of it and just look at the numbers.
One thing, a strikeout can't lead to a double play like a ground ball can. And that's what they realized too with just walk. So now that's called 3 true outcomes: home run, walk, strikeout, which that leads to winning baseball, leads to a boring fucking product to watch because there's no action. It's strikeout, walk, strikeout, home run. Hey, we're on the board. Walk, home run. Oh, fuck, we got a 3-run lead. But yeah, like baseball's fun when no one bunts. Bunting is fucking, I bet bunting, for every one bunt now, there were 25 bunts in 1998. I don't think that's even an exaggeration. Stolen bases are gone. Bunt, fucking squeeze plays. No one does a goddamn switcher. That's when baseball's insane. When you're just running for home and there's a bunt. What if you miss the bunt? You look like an asshole. Like they're just you stuck there looking like a shithead. Like, oh man, yeah.
In my head, I'm thinking about how different that part of Paradise by the Dashboard Light would be if it's just this cold, calculated math ball.
Yep. Okay.
Meatloaf and that lady wouldn't have banged at all.
Yeah. They would have changed fucking relief pitchers twice to match a lefty against a lefty.
Oh, God, that song's too long already.
Yeah, that song would be 1 hour and 14 minutes long. You have to switch records. So I think it's eventually Bart who starts to chide at the money ball, even though they're winning, but it's just not fun. Like I miss, old timey baseball. I think he vows to start playing dummy ball. And at some point, I think it's like a case of where the bases are loaded. It's late in the game. They're down by 1. Or maybe it's a tie game, and like Lisa's like, hey, the numbers show this guy's wild. He can't throw a strike.
Yeah.
Leave your bat on your shoulder.
Just walk.
And that happens in baseball too. Like, make him show he can throw a strike right now because he's so wild. But Bart's like, fuck that noise. Players got to play. Crushes a home run. He's getting carried off the field once he crosses home. They're all chanting, Bart, Bart, Bart. They all have him up in the air. And then Lisa's like, Bart, you disobeyed a direct order. You're off the team. Boys, throw him over the fence. And then they go, conflicted.
Yeah.
They just carry him away.
Conflicted.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
So, Bart now is off the team, and Lisa just runs the team with a goddamn fucking iron fist. But they're also winning. Winning cures a lot in sports. And now, since they're siblings, it becomes a problem at the home. They're having an argument over the kitchen table. Fucking Homer. We get some prime dumb Homer here.
Yeah, this house divided.
Yeah. We're like, well, what about Bart's feelings? And Homer, boys don't have feelings. They have muscles.
So fucking funny.
And, Homer's on Lisa's side. Marge is trying to help Bart's feelings. And to take Bart's mind off of baseball, she takes him to an amusement park. Which I think right now he was like, after 7 hours, I'm finally enjoying myself. Yeah. So they're having fun and talking about it. That's when goddamn fucking Mike Scioscia pops up. Long-time fucking L.A. Angel manager and long-time Dodger catcher in the 80s.
Still coaching?
Just within the last handful of years, I think, lost the reins. Gives him a talk. It tells him just to never give up and like to go back and give it a try, which, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I miss Marge on her clamshell fucking cell phone gets a call. Ralphie can't play because he drinks too many. He's on the juice.
He's
juiced
on
up.
The juice.
Drank too many juice boxes.
God.
And they desperately need Bart. He's like, nope, my baseball days are gone. That's when Scioscia convinces him, hey, give it one more shot, and he does. And they need him as a pinch runner. It's like late in the game. I think they're down by 1 run. And she explains, okay, this is what we're going to do. And again, you don't want to steal bases. Just at least is giving signals. It's like, if you have any respect for me at all, you won't steal this base.
They have a whole elaborate conversation in baseball signals that's subtitled. And I thought that was a funny bit. Yeah. I thought that was very funny.
And Bart steals second, which, shouldn't have if the manager told you not to, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Then he steals third, getting pretty goddamn dicey there. And then he tries to steal fucking home, which is a bonkers thing that's even real.
Because it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem like a thing you should be able to do ever. But what is it? You make a break for it as the pitch is coming? Like, what's the strategy of trying to steal home?
Usually it's always a left-handed pitcher, so they have the back to third base, and you just wait for them to be napping. I'm not that I watch a lot of baseball. I've seen it once, like in the mid '90s. I think it was ABC for a hot second had the rights to televise baseball, and they started having baseball night in America, and like it was a game of the week on Saturdays. Didn't
like
go
hockey
anywhere.
in Canada.
Yep, exactly like that. But they wanted to lean into the Americana of baseball.
Of course.
And I just remember, and I think they'd often do a regional game. I just remember a game with the Twins, Chuck Knobloch, who was a base stealing phenom.
I always thought that was a fantastic name.
Yeah,
I
for an
love that
athlete.
name.
Yeah, he tried to steal home and he got thrown out. I was just like, fuck, I was a teenager, still have never seen it. I wonder how often, I bet whole major league seasons pass now without anyone attempting it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it
seems so ridiculous.
It's so, like what a fucking, I bet as the hitter, maybe they give you a signal. But I think back in the day, if you were an elite base runner like a Ricky Henderson or back in the day, Ernie Banks, it was left, Rod Carew for the Twins in the 60s would steal home. I think it was up to your discretion. And you knew if Rod Carew was at third, keep an eye out because he might fucking be flying at you pretty soon.
That was also in the 60s when you could fucking lariat the catcher or fucking hit him with a missile drop kick.
Like a fucking Frankensteiner.
Oh, he would have been out, but he hit him with a Hurricane Rana at the plate and he dropped the ball.
So, thought of a Hurricane Rana in a while. So Bart attempts to steal home. It is a bang play, but he is out by just a fraction. And the crowd, it's a home game. It's a champ, and they are furious. There's Bart is like face planted in the dirt. The animation's great. He's spread out, hand on home, face down. You hear Homer let out a boo, and like a foam number one finger hits Bart. And Lisa walks up. Everyone's out of the shot right now. They've all are leaving the stands. The team has abandoned him, and he's like, "Did I make it?" Like, no, you didn't make it. And then they kind of, and Lisa's like, you completely disrespected me, but by God, if you didn't make me enjoy baseball, and they just kind of become friends again.
There's a very sweet Bart and Lisa moment at the end of this. Yeah.
And I thought I'm a baseball guy, but this is a very good episode. Nothing that had me on like LOLing, but like just a lot of good solid jokes.
I loved this episode a lot. Not being a baseball person, being a little lost in all of the Moneyball shit of it. I liked it a lot.
It's
a whole lot.
Crazy that there was an episode dedicated to such an obscure thing. But maybe the movie
Moneyball was a big movie.
Yeah, that's
for
true.
Sure. I don't know that it won an Oscar, but it was up for one for the best picture.
That's wild.
I think did Jonah Hill win an Oscar that year? He was up for it in
nominated
supporting
for best supporting actor.
When they run into Mike Scioscia on the roller coaster, Marge immediately turns as soon as because he kind of pops up from the seat behind him she goes, "Mike Scioscia, didn't you get radiation poisoning at the power plant?"
He did.
He's in the baseball episode. He's in the capital T the baseball episode of The Simpsons.
Season 3.
Season 3, episode 17 in February of 1992.
How did I not pick that up? God, he'd have been getting to the end of his playing days, but how weird is it for him to be 20 years apart, make appearances on The Simpsons?
Yeah. Think about that as a player and a manager.
Yeah.
And she has it immediate. As soon as he popped up and she said, "Mike Scioscia," the only reason I know who Mike Scioscia is because of that episode in season 3. That episode is one of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons. The softball Homer at the bat from season 3. And when he showed up, I marked out completely. I was like, "You fucking did it, you guys. Look at ya."
See, I didn't even pick up on that.
I'm shocked that you did.
Yeah.
Because we both love that episode.
Isn't the premise that Burns just builds a collection of the best baseball players?
Of ringers for their softball team. Yep.
Gets all the local guys off the team.
Exactly. Except for Homer. He keeps Homer. I'm not sure exactly why. I think Homer is good at I think maybe I don't remember the specifics of that one. But yeah, Griffey's in that. Daryl Strawberry's in that
Don
episode.
Mattingly.
That's a fucking great episode.
Yeah.
That is an all-timer for me. If you made me put together a top 10 list of Simpsons episodes, that's in it for sure. So when he showed up, I lost my mind. I was like, "This is brilliant. You guys fucking killed it." Between Vodka Mayo and Banksy and this joke, I'm so on board.
Vodka Mayo was something else.
Oof. There's got to be a good name for that. There's got to be a real...
Yeah.
What do you call a Vodka Mayo?
Oh, God.
Is it a White Mary?
Yeah. They should pistol whip you if you order a vodka mayo. God damn it. Get out of my bar.
Episode 4 of season 22 is Treehouse of Horror 21. We get the intro with Frank with the DVR talking about... I don't really have a frame of reference, but apparently this is when DVRs maybe got big, or at least more universal.
Yeah.
Because I feel like TiVo showed up in like 05 or something.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think TiVo was early.
I got a satellite dish again around 2011, 2012, and it still seemed like it wasn't like a brand new technology, but they were really tooting their own horn that you can record right to your
It comes
TV.
with a DVR from the satellite company. We also had that same thing in 2012.
Yep.
My roommate loaded it up full of Deadliest Catch, and so you couldn't record shit if you wanted to. Memory full.
There's rules.
Because Discovery aired that all the time.
You got to split it. We each get a certain amount of things.
God damn it, I just want to watch last night's Colbert Report.
That intro that you're talking about with Frank, when Bart fucking runs Homer over with the lawnmower. That's a rough moment.
I expected that to be grosser, but they keep it pretty tame, the two of them fighting back and forth. I like that Frank fast forwards himself until he ages and dies and turns into dust, and that becomes the Treehouse logo. Yeah. And then fucking weird offshoot of... Because Frankenstein is there or Frankenstein's monster, is there in Frank's lab, and he grabs the DVR and talks about, like, now I can watch The Office. And then they do The Office intro, which I know that I don't know about hot, but I don't like The Office. I don't think it's good.
Oh, really? So I've never delved in too deep, but what I've seen I've enjoyed, but apparently not enough to search it out.
Right. It's fine. It's okay at best. The only times it ever reaches the levels of good is when Steve Carell's on screen. And when he's not,
no shit.
It's fine.
What about Creed? What about the weird older guy? You like Creed?
No, like when he's there, he's fine, but he's not there enough. Like that's the thing with such a huge ensemble. Anybody you do like, you're not going to see enough of. I can't fucking stand Dwight Schrute, and he's on screen all the fucking time. I can't stand Jim or Pam. Everyone on there is insufferable. I don't like it.
That's a hot take.
I know it is.
That's hot and spicy.
Try dating women when you don't like The Office.
Look at you like you're a pedophile.
Oh, like, God.
They're calling for help.
Yeah, I've had a lot of dates end in SOS phone calls.
Them go to the bathroom and their brothers show up to tough talk you. You should probably go. Pardon?
This isn't your Pam. Okay, I'm going to go. Oh, fuck. Parks and Rec, infinitely better.
God, Parks and Rec's fucking good.
Fucking Office got my cockles all up.
I'm just going to say, we are all sorts of riled.
Got my chemicals going. You know the drill for the Treehouse of Horror 3 shorts. The first of which is War and Pieces. Bart and Milhouse are playing what I think is supposed to be Call of Duty Zombies. The Call of Duty games right around this time started putting in a zombies mode.
Oh, no shit.
Like it was a little offshoot, and it ended up kind of taking on a life of its own, where people were buying those games just to play the zombies mode. I
had no idea.
Yeah, it was never my thing, but people liked it, and it, I think would have been right around this time. Marge suggests that this video game is so violent. Why don't you play a board game?
Yeah.
And so they go up to the attic. They got the stack of board games. I noted a much larger stack of board games than would have been in our house, for sure.
Yeah, but I certainly was around households that had that amount of board games.
I know people now in adulthood who have that stack of board games, but not... I don't think I even knew anyone in my youth that had that stack of board games.
I knew a couple families. We were probably a 7 board game family.
I was an only child.
Yeah.
So not a lot of board games are a lot of fun with 3
Tough to
people.
play Candyland alone.
Yeah.
I win.
Yay.
I'm not going to bore the listeners, but I was like, I bet I could almost, if I sat here and thought about it, I could think of every board game we owned. 'Cause that's how few. It was 10 or under my entire childhood.
Yeah. I didn't play classics like Clue or Sorry till I was well into my 30s.
I was into my late 20s before I ever played Clue. We did have Sorry, or one of my cousins did, or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had Battleship, because you can play Battleship with two people. You just need one person.
I think you only could play it two. Maybe it could be, but I mean, when you buy Battleship, it comes with two.
Yeah, there's probably like a 4-player version where you get a round table going. I could see that.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, the only because we played a lot of traditional card games, but the only thing that even is board game adjacent that we played was Yahtzee. We did play Yahtzee.
We had a Yahtzee game. Probably got used for a couple times, and probably in pretty pristine condition at my parents' house.
Yahtzee's fun. I genuinely like Yahtzee.
I've played it since. Yeah, I'll fucks with some Yahtzee.
Put that on your Tinder profile. I hate The Office, and I'll fuck with some Yahtzee. So they're picking them out. We do have some fun fake names of board games, like Taffy Land, which is weird. I can't believe they didn't just get the why not just say it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's the fake Monopoly?
Funopoly, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of games. They pull out Satan's Path, which is a metal board game.
Right.
I would play the shit out of Satan's Path.
Ever fuck with a Ouija board as a kid?
No, I never have.
Oh.
The only time I think I've only seen one in person one time, and that there was a stack of board games in the coat closet at the old folks' home in my town, and so when you would have Christmas at great grandma's, you would have it at the old folks' home in the community area. And you and some other bored cousins would drag chess or Uno out of there.
Chinese checkers.
Never played Chinese checkers. Regular checkers. But I see a Chinese checkerboard and I'm confused. I don't understand.
Yeah. It doesn't take long to figure out. A fun game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll fuck with some Chinese checkers.
All right. Shit, we're building that bio. I remember seeing the box in my youth, and it was way down towards the bottom. I always thought, what a fun game to have at the old folks home.
Yeah.
Saying talk to all their pals.
Right? Yeah. I remember as a kid even seeing it at the Ben Franklin in Botno in the little board game section. There sits a couple Ouija boards. Just Parker Brothers allows you to converse with the dead.
Right. Yeah. It's so dumb. Yeah. It's the devil. It's made by Parker Brothers.
Right.
You can buy it at Toys R Us.
If you took a quarter and scratched the paint, there's a Candyland board underneath.
Right. Yeah. They just spray paint it on. Yeah. It's the idea of the Ouija board, I think, is very silly.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's out there.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's out there scaring these
Being
white
metal.
folks.
Yeah.
So they pull out Satan's Path, and in a Jumanji-like twist, the game comes to life.
Oh, good call. That's what the connection.
That was the vibe I got. I was the right age for that Robin Williams movie, big time.
Oh, I bet. I was early teens. So
I've seen Jumanji a bunch of times. The reboot with The Rock and Jack Black and
Pretty Lady.
Yeah, Pretty Lady and Black Guy.
Comic Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, there we go. I was like, I really want to pull his name.
I don't want to leave it at Black Guy.
I don't want to leave it at Black Guy.
Yeah.
But that also pretty good.
Oh,
the Jumanji movie
I felt like
it
could be fun.
Yeah. Rock and Kevin Hart are fun together.
Yeah.
Jack Black's a goofball. Pretty Lady's pretty. It's fine. So Satan's Path comes to life, and what happens is all of the other games also come to life and take over the town, and they're raising hell with the town. You got big sorry sliders sliding around. You got the operation guy walking around. You got the barrel of monkeys.
Wreaking havoc.
Is that a real game?
Yep. They all have hooked arms and legs.
I for sure have seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about dipping it in and trying to get out as many. Unless I'm remembering incorrectly, it's almost a game of chance that like you just got to hope that the one monkey you grab has their arm interlocked with another monkey. It's something like that, and you dip in, and it's just who can get all the monkeys out of their barrel first.
Huh. Okay.
Because you take turns, if that makes sense.
It seems very silly, but I get it.
It's something a 3-year-old can play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that their take on Hungry Hungry Hippos is Ravenous Ravenous Rhinos.
God, yeah. Every household I knew growing up had a beat to shit hunger that like only one hippo worked worth a damn because some 18-month-old was just drop kicking it over and over again. Like, calm down, dipshit.
Much like BattleBots, that's a board game that's meant to beat the shit out of. Like, you're not supposed to. Like, board games have a level of sophistication to them. Like
fucking hungry hippos. Nope.
Just a 3-year-old slamming his fucking forehead against the hippo button.
And we had a game like, do you count the marbles? You must. That's who wins. You got to count the marbles.
Yeah, it's got to be what it is. I don't know what else it could be. But yeah, it's. I think at this age, at 8 or 10, I was probably playing chess by myself. Like, that was my board game.
Jesus, cue the sad fucking 70s Incredible Hulk theme music. So distant whistling.
At 10 years old, much like Jack Lemmon in Grumpy Old Men, I had a long-going chess game near the reading window that I just played against myself. Oh, God.
I win, but do you?
Do you, though, Marlon? Oh, shit. There's a fun bit where Wiggum is killed by the knight on a chessboard.
Yep.
Speaking of chess, he's like, Chief, look out. But I'm way over here. He can't move two and then one. And it's funny because it means Wiggum doesn't understand how chess works. You play chess?
I know the rules, but I could never. I know nothing of strategy or fundamentals.
Yeah, likewise. I don't claim to be good, but I like playing it.
Yeah. Well, I played for every one game of chess I played 50 games of checkers.
Played a lot of checkers in my youth.
Because you don't have to plan a weekend around a checkers game.
Yeah.
Chess could take a minute.
We had a fun chessboard when I was a kid. I do remember that. It was like fabric. It was like a woven rug, but it was a chessboard. And then the pieces were about yay big. I'm holding up my hand like a drink coaster. Big, thick, chunky plastic pieces. We would play that every so often. I never think of it as a board game because we didn't have a board.
What's your favorite cloth game? The fuck?
Yeah, I just had this weird checkers rug.
Ooh, rainy Sunday, time for some cloth games. What are you talking about? You know, when you'd roll out your fabrics and play, what is going on?
You know, you roll out the rug and you play checkers on it. Like I somehow sound like I grew up poorer than I actually
did. Or like
did.
a weird Eastern European country. Like,
oh, don't mind Slobodan. He doesn't know what checkers is. We get Battleship. They reference all the board games that you want them to reference.
Yeah.
Clue is in there.
Yep.
At one point, they're floating on Scrabble pieces, or Bart is, and Milhouse is in the water, and it's like the end of Titanic. Milhouse like gives up and drowns, which is fun. I guess.
Right. Yep.
Bart shows up at the only way to stop this, because I forget what the actual way to stop this is, but that's what Bart's doing.
Yep.
I think it's like you got to finish the game or something. And he goes to, I don't remember what their fake name is for it, but it's Mousetrap.
Yeah.
And it goes through the whole Rube Goldbergian thing, and then the trap doesn't fall because the trap never fucking falls on that thing.
I never had that game, and I always thought it looked cool.
My grandparents had it, but it was missing so many pieces to actually play it.
Yeah.
but you could build the thing. It had all the pieces to build the thing, but didn't have the pieces you needed to play the game properly, so you just would build the thing.
Yeah.
And then it would go off the way it's supposed to until it's time for the cage to fall down. Then you'd have to fucking punt it across the living room to get the cage to fall down, and then that would be the end. So you never played it, you just built it.
Yeah.
In much the same way that I don't think I've ever played Scrabble keeping score. You won by there's no more letters left. Like, I don't think I've ever kept score in Scrabble. Not once. Which made me horrible at Words with Friends when that showed up a few years ago.
Oh, yep.
Or 20 years ago. However fucking long it's been. I was not good at it.
Yep, and I should be.
I love words.
I'm good at words. Nothing else.
So Bart sets off the mousetrap, catches the mouse, everything goes back to normal, and then they're like, why don't we just play hangman? And it cuts to them standing on gallows with a hooded hangman there. Yeah. And they're like, but we got one more letter left, and the fucking hangman drops them and hangs Bart and Milhouse. This is a fun, dark ending anyway, very Halloween-y ending.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was fine with that one.
Oh, yeah, it was okay.
I was more fine with that one than I was with the second one, which is Master and Cadaver. Have you ever seen Master and Commander?
I haven't. I've heard
with
it's
Russell
good.
I have also not seen it, but I've heard it's super good.
And I've heard it's like a movie you want to see. Like, you should have seen it in the theater, but if not, on a giant screen with like
biggest
good
TV you can find.
Good sound that's like a real big hit you in the face.
That's also one I've always heard, that the director's cut is better than the theatrical cut. Like one of those, I think I've heard the same about like Blade Runner and that one Orlando Bloom night movie that would have been around the same time as Master Commander, maybe
Alexander,
maybe after it,
or Troy,
maybe
one of
but it was something. Orlando Bloom's in it, and he plays a knight. That's all I know. Something with Kingdom in the title.
Kingdom of Heaven.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I've heard that one, like, oh boy, this movie sucks, and then the director's cut comes out, and you're like, oh, actually, this is pretty fucking good.
I just remember thinking, like, it's weird that all these swords and sandals movies are getting made. Like, was it late Gladiator success? Like, but this is like those movies came out like 3-4 years later. Yeah.
Every once in a while, you just need swords movies.
Yeah,
you know, it's every so often they just happen to be cool.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan, but when they're done right, they're fun.
Yeah, like there's a handful I like. You know, I mean, I think Gladiator's a little long.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. Now I think about it,
it's fine. I think 300 is fun. Like I
never seen that either.
Oh, I think that was one that's like, hey, these can also be fun, yo.
Yep.
Like we can also have a good time. Yeah, I think Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is fine.
Never seen that either. I avoid the swords.
Yeah,
apparently.
You're not a swords guy,
or the arrows.
Oh, you don't like arrows either, yeah. Much like I don't like war movies. You don't like
that,
sword.
I'm gobbling up war movies.
I don't like gun movies. You don't like sword movies.
Yeah.
So Master and Cadaver, Homer and Marge are out on a yacht. They're celebrating a wedding anniversary, I think. Marge, saucy looking in the two-piece.
Yeah.
Marge rocking the two-piece.
That's not a woman that's had 3 kids.
If she has, she's done a lot of work.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Really keeping it together. Homer, a fucking ton of shit.
Yeah.
Just 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. So they're out, they're celebrating, and they save a man in a rowboat, Homer does, by fucking fish hooking him with that goddamn hook.
Yeah.
There's a word for what that tool is, a hook on a stick,
Yep.
and I forget what it is. But he yanks him up out of the rowboat and saves him. This is Roger, is this man's name, and he had been lost at sea for a while in his rowboat. He had been on a boat as the chef. Some other yacht owned by some rich businessman who was his boss, who then poisoned the food that he had made for everybody, and everybody died, and he was like, fuck, I gotta get out of here, hopped in the rowboat, ended up on the Simpsons rowboat, or the Simpsons yacht. That's how there's a lot of setups and backtracks and whoopsie doodles in this episode.
And he's kind of dashing.
Yep. Marge is into him.
Yeah, already some jealousy from Homer.
Yep, jealousy out of Homer and suspicion out of Homer because he's like, we don't know that story's true. He probably just fucking killed everybody on the boat. We should watch him. We should watch our ass. And that's when Roger shows up, gives them a pie. Homer freaks out, throws the pie out the window, just like that was poison for sure. And Marge, being Marge, no, that's not. And then they look out the window and there's a shark that's eaten the pie and dead as can be. So now they suspect that he is not what he claims to be, and they're going to kill him. They decide. They hit him with the mast or whatever the horizontal thing that's on a sailboat is. Because the mast is the up part. The mast is the vertical part. There's a word for whatever the horizontal swingy part is. I bet it's not horizontal swingy part. I bet that's not in the manual.
They've narrowed that down over the years, over the 2,000 years of human seafaring.
Yeah, they've come up with a pithier name for whatever that is. So they hit him with that part and toss him overboard. They killed him. They killed Roger. They take off on their boat. They find the other boat, the Albatross, I think it was called, that Roger had originally come from. They show up. Everybody's dead, or so they appear to be, because they start waking up, and they're like, the guy who wakes up first is like, yeah, I knew the boss was the bad guy and was going to poison the pie, so I gave everyone antidotes ahead of time. Roger had nothing to do with it. Homer freaks out and starts killing everybody, including Roger, who was not dead and has shown up. Sticks him with a fucking harpoon gun, murders everybody, shoots a flare through a man's chest.
Yeah. Well, doesn't right away it backfires, so he pistol whips that guy, and then the gun goes off during the pit and blows a goddamn coffee can size hole in the guy's chest.
So Homer freaks out, but he has, killed everyone. Okay, secret is safe. Homer has gone like full madness at this point.
Yeah.
Like no one will ever know. Yeah. And Marge eats the poison pie because I can't live with what you've done. Marge eats the poison, kills herself. And Homer falls to his knees and shouts to the heavens. And the camera pans back, and this is all happening on Maggie's plastic bath boat toy in the bathtub, as she's just giggling and laughing, and the parents are there at the edge of the bathtub going, I wonder what she's thinking about. Oh, it's just sunshine and lollipops.
Sugar plums and lollipops.
Yeah, but Maggie is thinking about murder is what Maggie thinks about.
The bonkers thing about this, of the three, this is all, it hit me right away. It's like, I have seen this fucking movie, but it's just like, what was this? It was I don't even remember if the movie was good or not, but it was not a hit apparently, because you never heard anything about it. It was an early 90s movie called Dead Calm with a almost pre-fame Nicole Kidman. And who is the main doctor guy in Jurassic Park? Sam Neill.
Sam Neill, baby.
Sam Neill. And I can't think of who the guy that gets on their boat is, but it's like, what an I
had no idea.
Have you ever heard a horror movie fan? Dude, you gotta watch, because it's not a horror movie, it's like a thriller.
But
sure.
I've never heard of this.
Insane thing to pull from. I remember it was just, I couldn't, I was like, for some reason I thought Ray Liotta was in it, but he's not. I was like, I gotta find out what movie this is. And sure enough, I didn't know it was the woman was a star of Nicole Kidman's magnitude, but yeah. Dead Calm. You need to do 20-odd tree houses. You got to start digging.
Yeah. I figured that this was a movie or a parody of one that I didn't know, but I didn't expect it to be one that everyone else also didn't know.
That's rare.
Fun to see Sam Neill outside of Jurassic Park, because to me, he is Jurassic Park man and nothing else.
Sam Neill has dipped his toes in the horror realm before. He's in Event Horizon.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
That movie rules.
Well, we're going. You won't need eyes to see.
That movie, I didn't see that movie until I think 2 years ago in October.
Oh, no shit.
I did that for my Halloween thing. That movie whips fucking ass.
There's some gnarly
that movie
scenes
is
in it.
metal.
Yeah. I'm a fan of horror in space. That's a good combo.
I remember when I was in my early teens, I think, somewhere in that tween area, Sam Neill played Merlin the Magician in a huge
TV movie? On NBC.
event. Yeah, like a 6-night event.
Yeah.
Like you had to be, and it was destination television. You've got to get home and watch Merlin.
I remember thinking, who the fuck wants to watch a Merlin movie?
Oh, I remember everyone where I came from going, we got to get home and watch Merlin.
Shit.
I remember it being a big deal.
Huh.
I was fucking 12 years old. I didn't know any better.
Did you try to get people to start calling you Merlin?
Absolutely not. I hate
wearing a wizard hat.
I hate when that happens. I will catch a Merlin. I will
Oh,
catch
no shit.
Yep, I will catch a stray Merlin every once in a while.
For Sam Neill, also in a mid-90s John Carpenter horror movie, In the Mouth of Madness.
Okay.
Yep, so he's got
Like
some...
John Carpenter and Sam Neill.
That's one of those movies. I remember watching it. I remember thinking it was pretty cool, but boy, it's been a hot minute. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd stand for In the Mouth of Madness, but
I feel like most John Carpenter things hold up just fine.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. So
had a couple duds, but yeah.
no one bats 1,000.
No, I've always found it funny that Stephen King dislikes his own novel, Christine, about the car that gets possessed.
Sure.
But he thinks the movie's very good. Whereas I really enjoy the novel, Christine, and I didn't think the movie was worth a shit.
I own the novel but haven't read it, and I liked the movie but didn't love it.
Okay.
You can hear exactly what I think of the movie Christine if you go search for it online. We did it last year for Hell Comes to Huntsville.
Oh, okay.
If you want to hear my thoughts on it, we did an episode on Hell Comes to Huntsville. Shout out to our friends Jack and Leanne at Huntsville Home Video.
16 Christine. Or is it Christine 16?
It's Christine 16.
Yeah.
That's a creepy song.
Good one, though.
That's a fucking
Yeah,
good
right?
song.
Yeah, that's one of the more underrated Kiss songs.
It's not like 17 by Winger. That's a creepy song about creepy subject material. But Christine 16 kind of rocks.
Yeah. I try not to lean into the lyrics too much. It's like the less I know, the better.
Yeah. It's a good song. It's a good song. And then we also get Maggie like staring down the barrel of the camera, and she gets droog makeup on one eye and puts
That
a bowler
seems
hat on. I was
forced.
like, that's a hat on a hat. You don't need.
Yep.
You already
Thank you.
did this clever
Yep.
ending. You don't need to gild the lily.
Yeah.
Don't put a hat on a hat. One last one is Tween Light. Have you seen any of the Twilight movies ever?
Once. The very first one, I had a roommate that rented it. And I remember just being blown away because they were based off of a humongous best-selling series of books. The movie looked so chintzy. It's like,
Okay.
I remember just being kind of baffled. Like, this just looks like a sci-fi original. I remember thinking that, again, I probably only sat and watched 10 minutes of it, but it's just like, this just looks low grade. I mean, like fucking...
You can
Kristen
see
Stewart-
a cheap movie. You can identify
Yep.
corner
Like,
cutting when you
It's like,
see it.
wonder is it just me? But I don't know if it was like, because like I went into it like, fuck, maybe I'll like this. I like vampires. Didn't fucking know they're not vampires. It's like,
Yeah, they're not Nosferatus.
yeah,
They're not
like,
monsters.
What do they glow in the dark?
I think they kind of
glow in the light.
Sparkle. They glow in the
God.
light.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm
I-
not going to be that guy, but
I've only ever seen. I got dragged to the movie theater. Wasn't my choice. I got dragged along to like the third or fourth one.
awesome.
The only one I've ever seen. There was like
There's already a mythos you're not aware of.
right. There's lore that's passing right by me. I don't remember anything other than there was some manner of werewolf fight.
Yeah.
where there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know.
Eventually, there's a werewolf character who becomes a pretty big. There's like a love triangle between Kristen. It's like Edward, Because there was like Team Edward.
And Team Jacob.
Team Jacob.
Taylor Lautner played the werewolf.
I remember like, because these movies, that was it was hysterics. Like people fucking lining up to go fucking hours before. And like middle-aged women, sure, they're there with their teen daughters, but like 45-year-old women with like teen Jacob. And it's like, that's a boy. You're a 45-year-old. Oh, how could you choose Edward when you got that Jacob there? It's like, that's not cool. Like,
they should have called the police when you bought that t-shirt.
Yeah, they made that shit. These fucking weirdos. Like,
that's even worse.
Yeah, Edward.
Yeah.
With that boy on my body. Oh, Jesus. Like, could you imagine if the scenario was flipped? There's all these chubby 50-year-old dads with 12-year-old girls on their chest. I'm Team Sasha. Get the fuck in the van. You're not going to get to see your kids anymore, you fucking freak. It's just a movie. Yeah, illegal.
Your team gonna get stabbed in the joint for sure is what team. That's one of those things. I think the same thing when fucking grown ass adults be like, I'm a Gryffindor. You're 38.
Yeah.
I need you to relax right now. Jesus Christ.
You're buried in student loan debt. How about we keep our eyes on the prize?
Stop being a Hufflepuff. I will set you on fire. Okay. Jesus. Unfucking believable.
This could just lead down to for some insane reason, now that fucking horoscopes are a thing people give a shit about again.
Is that new? Is that a thing?
There was
people care again.
When I was in college, no one gave a shit about God, fucking.
You had to look it up. It was like your blood type. You walked around going, I don't know.
It was something your kooky aunt looked up. Now, fucking every fucking girl or young woman is into horoscope or astrology. Okay. Oh yeah. That's totally what a Pisces would do. This doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Fucking. Oh my God. I'm just getting mad right now.
Look on your face.
God damn it. I'm gonna fucking do Libras hang themselves? Because I'm about to do it if this conversation keeps going.
I'm a Taurus.
And didn't they find out the planets have shifted enough that like the dates don't match up? Which is so great.
That's fantastic.
So are you not the person you were now that this information's out there? You fucking asshole.
To Nathan, me, I thought the modern version of that, or at least the modern version of horoscopes, is people with their I almost said Briggs and Stratton. Their Briggs Myers personality initials. Because like I've taken that test a dozen times, and like I get the same answers every time. So I guess something
to it
must be. But then people lean on it as an excuse to be shitty. Like, of course I lit your balls on fire. I'm an ENFJ.
Yeah.
Like,
Tee.
Get the fuck out of this apartment.
A felony is a felony. Oh yeah.
I can't help it. The Briggs and Stratton told me.
I didn't mix the oil right. I'm running lean.
Like, I don't doubt that there's science to it, and like I don't doubt that it can tell you some things, or at least explain some things, or provide some manner of insight. But then to lean on it as like, this is just how I am. No, you set that dog on fire. What's the matter with you?
I think with those two, I've taken them for jobs, not just for laughs.
Oh, really?
Jobs. Yeah.
I've only ever taken it casually.
I mean, I was hired, but my boss had me doing like the first day. Like, no shit, okay, let's see where this goes.
I've taken personality tests at jobs, and I think it's weird and invasive. I don't like it. Like, don't you fucking worry about what kind of person I am. How about that?
I just remember, I think when you respond like that, they can figure out what kind of person you are.
Right. How about you ask me? How about you ask me what kind of person I am? Ask me if I'm going to be on time. That's all you need to fucking worry about.
If I'm here, we're good.
Yeah.
I think with those tests, I remember thinking, fucking 60% of these questions were a coin flip. So like this could have went either way.
Yeah.
Like,
how much weight are you giving to each of these questions? Because I don't give a fuck about most of these questions. Yeah. It's like whatever that test is that the new NFL players have to take.
The Wonderlick.
Yeah, there you go. The Wonderlick test.
Yeah.
Well, if you were a dog, what kind of dog would you be?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a defensive end. That's what matters. Like,
I've heard that some of the questions are like insultingly easy. Like there's like a picture of a hand and like, which one's a foot? Like, oh fuck, they both got 5 digits. Oh shit.
yeah, if you're an athlete, you got to just be like, listen, I can bench press a car. Do you want me on your team or not?
I just rip doors off the hinges. I don't open them anymore.
Yeah, you're going to make me identify which one's the lion. Like, come on. So the last... we haven't even gotten into this short. The last short is Tween Light. The schoolgirls are all smitten by this very obviously vampire boy who looks a lot like Edward from the Twilight movies, as I know him to be.
Very pasty.
Voiced by Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, interesting.
I have never seen those movies. I don't think I've ever seen anything with Daniel Radcliffe in it. I can identify his voice immediately.
Oh, I saw a really weird movie.
Did you see the horse movie?
No, it was one where like I can't remember who they find him in the woods and he's just like this body that like isn't dead, but he just makes weird noises the whole time. It was a trip. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Very foreign. Yeah, very French. Very, very French.
Yeah, I didn't figure this came out of Atlanta or anything.
This wasn't like a Transformers prequel. And he became Starscream.
We gotta find the Allspark is the after credit. Yeah, I thought you were going to say that horse movie because when I think Daniel Radcliffe and weird, I think that weird horse movie that he made. But yes, I've literally never seen a movie that he's in and I can pick his voice out immediately.
Yeah.
Don't know how that happens. So the schoolgirls are all smitten with this vampire boy. Edmund is his name. He saves Lisa from a bus crash, which I think is a scene from the movie.
Yep.
And then saves her from like 9 other crashes.
Crusting a little mini clown car.
Yep, and all the clowns get thrown out the windshield. That was fun. And then he takes her up in the trees, and they go jumping from tree to tree like Tarzan. I don't know. Anything I just didn't get, I figured this must be from Twilight somehow. So then we get Edmund and his dad are going to come over to the Simpsons for dinner, and his dad is like a classic Dracula with the high collar and the like the pendant, the medallion, or whatever you want to call it.
A monster mash Dracula.
Exactly. Real ass
Your
Dracula.
father's Dracula.
Yep. Played by Hugh Laurie.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I thought we were going to have more fun with this, like different flavors of Dracula or different flavors of vampire. I just did the thing that I like where people refer to a vampire as a Dracula, like lowercase d Dracula. Dracula's a name, a proper name.
We're getting attacked by Draculas.
Yeah, there's a line in a great Pussifer song, Conditions of My Parole, that says, maybe she's a zombie or a Dracula. And I think that's so fucking funny. It's one of my favorite things. So Edmund and Dracula, I'm just going to keep calling him Dracula, show up at dinner. They eat Flanders. Flanders is the meal that they all eat.
So they're fucking cannibals?
I guess. The Simpsons also eat Flanders.
Because they can't be rude.
Right. Like vampires drink blood. Anyway, so they eat Flanders. Dracula keeps embarrassing Edmund, and then Lisa and Edmund fly off, and the dads go looking for them, and they drive through the Dracula part of town, which is called Dracula Land, which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, haven't you? That's fun.
Is it good?
This is coming from someone that thinks that the concept of musicals is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I don't care for musicals, so I never saw it, but maybe I'll give it the time of day.
Good date movie.
I'll remember that the next time I'm on a date.
didn't mean that to kill the mood. I mean, like 10, 15 years from now when it comes out.
Oh, so when the next one. Yeah. All right. You want to watch La La Land?
Sir, I'm your at-home health aide. I'm a 19-year-old freshman boy.
Change this bag.
Which one?
There's so many bags, and they're all full.
All hot and all wet. Too many bags.
According to my math, that's how I think I'll be at age 61. That's not a good
You're not even retirement age. No teeth.
And I'm so bad at math that actually it's 51 now that I think about it. That's even worse.
And put a pacifier in your mouth to keep you quiet.
When I am Johnny Knoxville's age, I think I will be begging to have my fluid bags emptied by a stranger.
By a college kid.
And I won't know what's happening.
Side gig.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I changed his bags, bro. You're good till tomorrow. Thanks, man. These overnight jobs are okay. Get all your
steal
homework
my
done.
things.
Yeah, your things suck, bro. Oh.
Oh, no, they don't.
All your good stuff's already gone.
You want to watch La La Land?
This isn't a date. Oh. Are you a lady?
Someday I'll watch it. Oh, my God.
You got a DVD player that's been on pause for 12 years.
It's been on the main menu,
Yeah.
just on a loop.
So you heat your apartment.
That DVD player's just glowing. Oh, fuck. Whew. 51. Less than 10 years older than you.
Yeah. You know, we all age. We all have the path we have to take through life.
So Homer and Dracula end up in the vampire part of town. And I like that I like this bit. I think this is fun. They drive through and they see all the different vampires. Like there's a Nosferatu in there. I should have paused. I didn't.
Yep.
But there's a Nosferatu in there. I think there's a Bela Lugosi.
Yep.
There's the Count from
Sesame
Sesame Street.
Yep.
He gets a few lines. There's a Count Chocula. I didn't realize until I think it was Blade Trinity, the seminal film Blade
which I enjoy.
Trinity. I like Blade Trinity. They play with that idea of, boy, wouldn't Dracula be pissed if he showed up in modern day and saw how we think of vampires as cartoons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's a scene of him holding a box of Count Chocula, scowling, and he, like, crumples the box. Like, I think that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
So the Count from Sesame Street tells them that he saw Lisa and Edmund flying off. They're up in this clock tower. Homer rides Dracula up there. That's fun. They get to the top of the clock tower, and there's a big showdown, face-off. First, Lisa's like into it, like, bite me and we'll live forever. And he's like, yeah, you're going to be 8 forever. And she's like, wait, that doesn't seem great. That doesn't seem like a fun... I mean, fucking Interview with the Vampire told us years ago that that's not cool.
Yeah.
So Homer shows up. He's going to save the day with a cross, and Dracula saves Edmund from Homer and his cross. And then they attack Homer. They drink all the blood out of his neck and get fat immediately because he's filled with cholesterol. And they drop dead. And then Homer jumps out into the night, transmogrifies into a bat, but he's like a fat bat that can't fly good. And that's the end of the episode.
He falls to his doom.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I didn't care for that last one. I didn't really care for that second one. And the board game one is fine.
Yeah.
Like, a below average, like a 2 out of 5 kind of vibe on that one for me.
And I think I might have liked the second one just slightly more because I was just baffled that they would make a goddamn Simpsons episode based on that.
On Dead Calm?
Dead Calm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Let's see how episode 5 treats us. Lisa Simpson, This Isn't Your Life. That's got to be a play on This Is Your Life. Is that what that show was? Like from like the 50s or 60s?
I have written here, what is This Is Your Life? Because my only cultural touchstone for it is the segment of Monday Night Raw where Mankind did rock This Is Your Life.
I think how the show worked is they would take a celebrity, probably someone that's on that network, and you would be in a chair alone, and then you would hear a voice, oh, hey, Bill, if you remember me. And then they come out from behind a curtain. Oh, that was my second grade teacher.
Okay.
And then it's like, oh, he was such a little ham, that kind of shit.
Okay.
Yep.
That's essentially what that segment of Raw is. Yep.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was like the highest rated segment of Raw ever at the time.
Yeah.
Like that was a big deal.
That was definitely wrestling was close to its peak of that era. So on Krusty's show, Krusty's peddling some kind of rare, are they tiny happy elves?
Yeah, that's we've seen that before. Those little
early fucking season 1 type shit.
This is the thing that Maggie is into. Is how we usually frame this.
Yep. Well, very early on, I think Lisa is, but I mean that's
you're right.
Season 1, season 2 shit.
Yeah.
So what it turns out is that this gas station's selling these little tiny happy elf figurines. You get a free figurine for every $10 of gas you buy.
And they're blind boxes, so you don't know which. Oh man, fucking blind boxes.
So I didn't know there was a name for that. So Maggie is like slapping at the TV.
It's so funny.
Trying to get it. She is so jacked to get one of these. Homer looks into it. The only gas station in that chain is way on the outskirts of town. But by God, Homer being, going to treat his baby, drives to that gas station. It's very bare bones and pumps 10 gallons of gas. Well, this is the one I want. Well, you get the blind box and got the one he didn't want. So
because she only needs one. She just needs the baby to complete her
cutie
set.
One.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just now we get him buying gas. He's dumping it onto the ground, just pumping it straight out of the ground. He's just losing his goddamn mind.
It's a fun, long montage.
I think is it maybe Marge that finally, like, Homer, it's getting late.
Yeah, we got to go.
And Homer's like, well, Maggie will have to learn that sometimes, and he can't even get through, like, he's saying, like, sometimes you don't get what you want. And Maggie's, like, consoling. Maggie's, like, calling for him and then patting him.
There's some cute Maggie shit in this episode.
Again, we get a ton of Maggie in this batch.
Yep.
So they are in a random ass neighborhood they've never been before. It's like, I don't recognize these stores. And then all of a sudden it hits Marge. We're back in my old neighborhood. And that's when Marge finds her childhood home, which is now lived in by a goddamn weirdo.
Yeah.
What is it, the animal she has? Are you here for the skunk or for the squirrel?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
She has some manner of strange animal. Yeah.
And it's like, actually, we're not here for either. This is actually the home I grew up in. And she's like, well, come in and take a look. And then she's like, I almost wanted to look through this box of stuff, but I decided not to. It's a box of Marge's childhood stuff.
It's better than that. She goes, I can't tell you the amount of times I've been tempted to look inside this box, and it says Marge's stuff on the side of the box. And she goes, so I did. Oh. That's it. Cuts to the next scene.
Good call. Yep. So they're looking through all of Marge's childhood stuff, get a couple good sight gags of her as a little kid. But this is the main crux is we found out that Marge was super gifted in school as a kid. Yep. And Lisa was unaware of this, which, to Lisa, because she, is a gifted kid, is very interested in all this. And Marge's like, oh, yeah, I did so good in this and this and this. And then it's like, well, and then Lisa looks into it deeper. It's like, well, why did her grades drop off so much around the 9th grade? And then she looks into it a little further, finds out That's when she met Homer.
Yeah.
Homer was the boat anchor that brought Marge down.
Finds that Scantron sheet where like the first 5 or 10 questions are answered regularly, and then from there she just drew a big heart with "Screw it, I'm in love" on the inside and filled in bubbles.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I like too that Lisa goes to talk to Homer about it. It's like, everyone finds their Homer someday.
Eventually, everyone meets their Homer is so funny.
That was a very good line. And Lisa is determined not to end up this way, so she kind of just forsakes all fun, what she considers distractions.
No distractions.
Yep. So that's where she's at now. Throws out her goddamn saxophone, which that's a sign, because Lisa is all about that sax. Marge finds out all about this, and it kind of comes out that Lisa is like, I don't want to go the direction you did, which kind of a double-sided thing there, because like as a parent, you want your kids to do better than you, but it's like, hey, this ain't the worst.
Right. You also don't want your kid to look you dead in the face and go, I don't want to end up like you.
So I get Marge, because Marge is pretty damn salty about it. I would say she's got a right to it, so Lisa's removed all distractions, but the animals she is growing up around still make it impossible.
Yep.
That school is a goddamn nightmare. The bus, the school itself, she can't learn there. And it's while she's on the bus, she sees a fancy bus. It's like Cloister Academy or something like that. And Lisa finds out that there's a private school in town, and she's all jazzed. And Homer and Marge, Lisa go to check it out. But the school is super expensive. And Marge can see how heartbroken Lisa is that they can't afford it, but she's like, let me do some talking. And they come out of the room, and Marge is like, congratulations, Lisa. I was able to talk him into getting you a full scholarship. So Lisa is so jazzed. She goes to the school. All the kids are fancy. You have like one teacher to one student.
Yeah, 1-to-1 student to teacher ratio.
And when she comes back home and she's just glowing, it's like, teachers teach so good when they get paid money and not bread.
Yeah.
Such a good line.
Haven't we done Lisa Wants to Go to Private School before?
Maybe twice.
Okay. I thought I was losing my mind.
Yep,
so.
This is certainly not a new thing. And it's not bread, it's chickens. I like the idea of getting paid in chickens.
And the way you phrase that means that they're probably alive.
Yeah,
when
right.
I think of
I think of that. You're giving 4 hens, like 4 laying hens. So Lisa is on cloud 9. She's enjoying it so much, and that's when she makes the discovery that there was no scholarship. Marge is staying up at night doing all the laundry for all of the uniforms.
The
they have
academy,
to wear.
because they all wear uniforms. That's how she convinced them to let Lisa in for no money. She's up at 4 a.m. doing laundry. And
Lisa sees the sacrifice. She's like, you know what? Being you is certainly, there's worse things in life than being someone as good as you. And they have a hug. She decides she doesn't want to go back to the academy. But then you get a look in her face where it's like, it ain't just a pure tender moment. She kind of realizes like, oh, what decision have I made right now? Like, where will my feet?
She's bummed.
Yeah, that's some layers to the old Simpsons onion there.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that.
So the B side, Bart accidentally wins a fight against Nelson.
Yep, accidentally beats up Nelson.
And he becomes immediately is crowned the school's new bully. He doesn't like the role right away. It's not even because he's afraid of Nelson. He just doesn't want. I don't want that crown.
Yeah,
I'm a hijinks guy. I'm not a bully guy. But then what happens is now he Nelson's out for blood, and then there's another accidental Nelson's after him, but he fucking brains him with a tether ball accidentally. Yeah. And he saw then there's still more praise, and then it just builds and builds and builds, and now he's scared because Nelson's getting fucking scary.
Yeah, he gets real I can take you down anytime.
There's that time he says, "Get your affairs in order." It's a good thing for an 8-year-old to tell somebody. So he's really scared. He confides in his mom, and she tells him the way out of it is to make Nelson feel good about himself. But also, I love how she keeps assuming the bully is Milhouse. It's like, well, he went through that growth spurt. And then it's like, what? No, it's not like, and they're saying, well, what should I do? Well, if Milhouse isn't there to protect you, make him feel good about himself.
Yep. I love that Marge cannot let go of, well, clearly Milhouse is the bully.
And comes to pass, Nelson gets him alone. They get in a fight. And in the 11th hour, right before he's about to get punched, he tells him that he punches good.
Yep.
And now they're fast friends. So now it's Lisa and Marge in the basement after Lisa's discovery of Marge doing all that laundry to pay for her tuition. Bart and fucking Nelson walk in ham-boned off goddamn juice boxes because they're old pals now.
Must have crushed 2 8-packs.
Yeah. And Homer got Maggie her elf by robbing that gas station.
Robbed the gas station.
And then we get the Pali. He must be the manager. It's like, did they take any cash? Like, no, just the dolls. Oh, they took some cash now. He robs his own gas station.
God damn it, I laughed at that.
Yeah.
I also got a good laugh when, before Bart tells Nelson that he punches good, he's kind of back on his hands and butt going, scooting away from Nelson, and he throws out a couple other compliments that don't land.
Yeah.
One of which is, you do a lot with a limited wardrobe.
Yeah.
And Nelson just flatly just goes, sounds like a fancy way to say poor.
Yeah.
Just not gets, it doesn't get to him at all.
I'm trying to think what the first one was. There's another one where he just brushes it off. Yeah.
God damn it.
Something about his hair or his smile or something like that.
Oh, God. There's... that was a fun one.
Yep, not a bad one at all.
I like that one. Yeah, the Lisa side was pretty heartwarming. The Bart one was fun. Plenty of Maggie and Homer. Yeah. We had 3 stories up in the air we were juggling.
God, when Maggie calls for Homer, he's sobbing and she's like, they're there.
She comforts Homer. Yeah.
Or when she's pawing at the TV too. Maggie, you can't climb the TV because if you could, I'd go give Alex Trebek a piece of my mind.
She's like ferocious. She's like feral.
Like a dog on a screen door when there's other dogs outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the thought of getting these tiny elf toys that she wants so bad. You brought up tetherball. Does tetherball have rules?
Yeah.
Can you play tetherball?
How?
Or is it just you hit the ball?
I'm sure there is. What is it though?
Is it a game?
Yep.
Because
no one knows.
I don't. If it is a game,
how many people play?
What are the rules?
Are there teams?
Where's the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Can you attack the other guy? How is a point? Yeah.
Yeah. How do you score? What are the time limits? We doing quarters or periods?
You got to wrap it around the pole against, but
what?
Yeah. I don't know. You hit it, you get it past them, and it just spins all the way around the pole and gets tight. That's a point. I don't know. I'm drawing fucking straws here, man. So many tetherball poles I ever saw were missing the ball. Just a pole with a string.
Most of them. Yeah.
Because this game sucks. Let's use this ball for something else.
Yeah, because it's just a volleyball, or a soccer ball.
Volleyball-sized ball sounds right in my head.
Yeah. Every time I've ever seen a tetherball and it had a ball on it, I was just like, what is this?
Yep.
You just hit it for fun?
As a kid, you give it a good smack and get it to spin around the pole. Then you go walk somewhere else.
Then you go do something else.
Yeah, you'll find something else at the playground.
Yeah, I'm going to go take a dump under the monkey bars or whatever it is you're going to get up to. I'm going to go back to
There's a lot of sand. Optimal outdoor dumping.
Not our playground where I come from. It's all sharp red
glass.
Shale rock. Yeah. It's all volcanic rock.
Fun.
Yeah, it's just a sea of arrowheads as far as the eye can see.
Kids all apprehensive to tip over.
Yeah. I thought that during this episode, this isn't a real game, is it? This is just This is just, hey, we took the fun out of passing a ball back and forth.
If you're a tetherball enthusiast, please message us. Tell us how the game works.
Oh, please tell me that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Are there adult tetherball leagues the way there's adult kickball leagues?
Yeah. Tetherball Enthusiasts of America, TIA.
Yeah, that's a real patch that someone has on their sweater vest.
Hi, I'm Tia Carrera for the Tetherball Enthusiasts Association. You might think they hired me only because my name is Tia. You would be correct.
You are right. They couldn't afford Tia Leone, so here I am.
And they had a check for $1,500 that wouldn't bounce. But I have learned to tolerate the fine people of Tetherball Association of America.
Man, I don't like Tia Leone. There's something about it.
Really?
Tia Leone's got a real unlikable face. Yeah. I don't like her.
I like her in Spanglish.
I never saw Spanglish. I'm pretty sure the only things I've ever seen her in are Bad Boys 1 and Jurassic Park 3. And I didn't like her in either of them.
Oh, I never saw Bad Boys. I thought Jurassic 3 was terrible.
Oh, yeah. 3's bad.
Yeah.
I think 3 is better than 2, but it's bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen 2. I thought people liked 2.
2's fucking
The Lost
awful.
World, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Oh, shit.
2's horrible.
And what was the premise of 3? Someone somehow like gets to the island even though it's been completely blocked off from humanity.
Yeah, like man
A rich
and wife
person's
and a
kid.
couple of kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
And like fucking parasail too close to the sun and end up on Dino Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a lost. No shit. See, I thought that one was loved, but okay.
It's not, like, don't get it twisted. 3 is also bad, but 2 is worse.
Oh no
Yeah,
shit.
I don't like. Ugh.
Yeah. You got the dino shakes. That's never good.
The only redeeming quality of 2 is that we get T-Rex in San Diego. Like, we get T-Rex on the mainland
surfing
for like 11 minutes at the climax.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Give me a whole movie of whoopsie doodle. There's a T-Rex in the city.
Or just even like a big lazy stegosaurus. Think how much collateral damage a stegosaurus would do.
Leaning
just
on cars
just
and
living,
shit.
just living, just being a steg, swinging that tail with the spikes on it. God, dinosaurs are cool.
Fuck yeah, they are.
Man, we have so few fucking animals with spikes on their shit anymore.
Almost none.
Yeah, right. Are you there, Lord? It's me, Nathan. Fucking amp it up down here.
Imagine how much cooler an armadillo would be if he had some fucking black metal gauntlet spikes on him.
And it was the size of a Chrysler 300.
Even
Yeah,
better.
just what the fuck? Like, imagine if I went out to my car right now and that thing was in your entryway. It's like, guess I'm not leaving. That thing's here now.
Or that heavy metal one that just has the dome.
Yeah.
That looks like Friar Tuck that has the bone on top of his
And they
head.
figure it was like a mating thing that they'd clobber each other, the males
like
would.
rams. Yeah.
like
just built to fuck shit up.
that thing could just run and burst through the wall right now and just eat us.
Yeah.
Even if it's a fucking herbivore, just to prove a point. Like,
Yep, that's the most Judas Priest dinosaur that there is. Oh, man. Animals were so much cooler.
crazy underwater ones with like an 18-foot long neck and then like a 4-foot long beak full of needle teeth. Like, Jesus Christ, that's nightmare fuel.
Like, oh, what if a crocodile was the size of a whale and also sort of a unicorn?
Yeah.
Like, okay, fuck it. Yeah.
Why not?
Bring it. Bring these weird fucking scaly birds.
So good.
Ah, man.
Like, the biggest pterodactyls are so insane.
They're all insane.
How can that thing
Everything's
fly?
crazy.
How can it fly? That doesn't make any sense.
Nope. Bring back the dinosaurs.
Do something.
Episode number 6 is what we'll do. This is The Fool Monty, and I was very excited as soon as I saw the title.
You deserve this.
Thank you.
You had to do a lot of the shit episodes about 2 seasons ago. It's your time to shine.
It's Marlin time. That's what I shout as I press play on La La Land on my date.
Yeah.
When I'm 51 and incontinent.
I got freshly cleaned bags. A single serving of raisins.
Let's do this.
They changed my fucking medical nightgown. Let's do this. Like, it's exciting.
The money's on the coffee table. I just want to watch this movie. Got a working gal.
Yeah. I never get closer than 7 feet. What? This couch isn't that long. You heard me.
This.
You heard me. She's just sitting on the fucking floor.
Facing you, not going to let you get a drop on her.
Yeah.
We get an Avatar intro. This is from Avatar. Back when Avatar was big, I guess, in 2010. I don't, I saw Avatar in the theater, zero recollection of when in time that was.
Oh, really?
Except for now seeing, it must have been right around 2010, I guess.
For a movie that ended up being the biggest money-making movie of all time.
Yeah.
How little a part of our culture it is.
Right. It's not Star Wars,
or like Titanic, even. Titanic, the scenes, you know, them two floating on the goddamn card table or whatever it is.
Yep.
Fucking, paint me like your French girls or the fuck that nonsense is.
Yep.
There's no
nothing
iconic scenes.
No classic lines that you and your buddies can quote to each other.
And this is coming from someone that enjoyed that movie, because I like James Cameron does action good, and the fight scenes are fun, I thought.
I don't like that movie, but I remember thinking, boy, howdy, this 3D is really good.
Yep.
That was like the first and maybe last example of me going like, oh, this is how you do a 3D movie.
There's been 2 movies I've ever went to that I was happy I had 3D glasses on. That's one of them. The other was Gravity, that space movie with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, I never saw that.
Fucking gnarly,
Is that
man.
good?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Every other time I'm like, I want to fucking shoot these glasses into the sun. I hate them. Because I have regular glasses. So I got to look like I'm fucking welding.
Glasses on glasses?
Yeah, never good. Never what you're looking for.
No, not a good look. The only other 3D movie that I even kind of liked because of the 3D-ness of it was Piranha 3D.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fun
Piranha's
one because they really leaned into it. They really leaned into stuff sure is coming at the screen, and it was so like wink and nod corny about it that I really enjoyed that.
That movie's a blast.
Oh yeah, that movie's awful, but it's fun.
Yeah,
it's good bad.
Yep.
Has Eli Roth acting. I prefer Eli in front of the camera rather than behind the camera.
Plays a good dude bro in that movie.
Yep. Christopher Lloyd is in that movie.
Yeah, I think Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes, he is.
Early on in that movie. He plays kind of like the Girls Gone Wild shithead. Jerry O'Connell is that actor's name. Yeah.
Yep.
And a dynamite good-looking British brunette. I think she was famous in Britain for being pretty. I don't know if this was her first movie debut in America.
Okay.
Was in their version of Maxim probably a million times.
Sure.
But she's a good-looking lass.
I was famous for being pretty once. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
I've often wondered.
But we get a long Avatar intro. Bart plugs his ponytail into the couch, which is one of the flying butterfly things. That's not a fucking good movie. I don't like it at all.
It's just, it's the Avatar part of it's so dorky, the mythos of it.
Yeah,
But when they get fighting, he does action scenes good. The sounds, it's all loud and blowing up and fucking
lots of movies have blown up. Michael Bay does blowing up 25 times better than Kirk Cameron or whatever his name is.
Kirk Cameron's from Growing Pains. This is ridiculous. Tom Seaver, rest in peace.
Michael Bay could kick James Cameron's ass in a broken bottle street fight.
So you're just going to sit here and diss T2? Just going to sit here and...
No, that's the thing. I also like some Cameron movies, and not all of Bay's stuff is over-the-top winners. So,
Has he ever made a good one?
Yeah, man.
What's Michael Bay done that's good?
Bad Boys 1 and 2 are both good.
Good?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Like 2 in particular is
No
outstanding. Armageddon, outstanding.
Bro.
The Rock, a top 5 action movie of all times.
There is a carbon monoxide leak in this apartment. I don't know who to
Transformers
talk to.
1 is good.
Oh my God, it cannot be.
Yeah, it is. You don't. Nathan.
I think we need to talk to somebody. I think we need to get these at-home healthcare professionals in here, but 41, not 51. It's setting in.
I will stand by Michael Bay. Pain and Gain with The Rock and Marky Mark and Anthony Mackie. That movie's so fucking good.
It can't be.
It is.
I feel like I'm getting gaslighted right now.
Listen, T2 is also in the top 5 best action movies of all time. It is above The Rock in that top 5, but they're both in there. Like T2's fucking outstanding. I won't take T2 away from James Cameron.
Did he do Con Air too? In my head, I always put Con Air and The Rock together.
I think that's just because they both have Nick Cage and came out around the same time. I don't think Michael Bay did Con Air.
Oh no shit! Really?
In fact, I know for a fact.
Okay.
Thinking back, there's not enough shit blows up in Con Air. Like,
yeah, you're right. It's more
Michael
action,
Bay.
not a lot of explosions.
I can't think of one single circle camera shot or like there's not enough jerking off the U.S. military.
Yeah.
To be
Didn't fucking Michael Bay do that horseshit Pearl Harbor movie too?
Yeah. Pearl Harbor's bad. I'll give you that. You know. So is it The Island with Ewan McGregor? That's a fucking bad movie.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
That's the kind of movie I want to be good because it's such a random ass, like it's not based off a cartoon or a comic book.
Fun concept.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but like, I think Transformers 1 is good, 2 is bad, and 3 is fine. You know, like he doesn't bat 1,000 even within his own franchises.
Is that how deep we're in? Is 3 Transformers movies?
No, we're like 8. It's
holy shit.
Like we've gone a long way. I stopped at 3. I was like, I'm
the
good.
same factor they used to make Saw movies, they now make Transformer movies.
Exactly.
Just change the molds. We got to work doubles. I got a new Paranormal Activity coming out.
Yeah, it's Michael Bay makes good films.
Oh, well, this podcast can't be 4 hours long, so I'm going to bite my tongue.
We're on our way. It might be. Am I doing this episode? Yeah.
Yep.
So we get through the Avatar intro. And then we get a Fox News chopper, and I love the slogan on the side of the Fox News chopper. It says, Fox News, not racist, but #1 with racists.
Yeah, that was good.
Which is fucking outstanding. God damn it, that's a fun joke. It drops off a Fox News executive at inside the head or inside the crown of the Statue of Liberty, where we're having a television executives meeting because they're like the cabal of media, like the Illuminati of media is having a meeting discussing how they're going to create the next crisis to keep everybody distracted from what's really going on in the world.
Pretty eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This gets even more so.
Yeah.
Because one of them suggests, well, what about a pandemic?
Yep. Off-putting.
Yeah. The first few minutes of this episode are a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The one kind of the head of all of this cabal is like, well, we could do that, and we just gotta. What's everyone afraid of, or what does everyone have in their homes? And he fucking pulls out a syringe, sticks the NBC executive that he was talking shit to earlier. I like how they just talk down to the NBC guy. Stick him with this syringe. He fucking dies there in the Statue of Liberty head. And they're like, oh, what are we going to tell people? And it's like, and then it kind of smash cuts to Kent Brockman saying, the house cat flu is on the loose. The perfect storm is one of the news graphics.
So
That's
awesome.
Fun. Like, I don't even really know what they're saying. Like, do house cats spread it? Everyone's afraid of house cats now, you know, is the main goal and result.
The image of of the cat getting put in that fucking bag with tongs is so good.
My favorite, because we get a little montage of people losing their shit about house cats. My fucking favorite image is the fireman putting cats in the tree.
Yeah.
Like, because there's one up there and the ladder comes up and the fireman comes up. You're like, oh, he's saving the cat from the tree. But he just puts like 5 others on the branch and they drive off. So fucking funny. And then good news, a vaccine comes out. This is uncomfortable.
Right? People standing in line waiting for vaccines.
Oh boy. Yeah. We've all done that.
Yep.
Now.
Fun.
Yeah.
Who knew it was all the cat's fault? I thought it was China.
Don't you look at my cat like that.
Call it the cat flu from now on.
Mm-hmm. So the vaccine comes out. Everyone rushes out to get it. There's a line of people standing outside the hospital looking to get the vaccine.
Who comes around the corner driving a 1928 Duesenberg?
Just as they've announced only 1 vaccine per child per household, so please take a moment to play Sophie's Choice with your children. Holy shit. Very funny.
So you would have been just a lucky boy getting a vaccine.
Yeah, I'd have got it all to myself, just like everything else being an only child.
My brother would have gotten it. He was a sickly boy.
And around the corner in that fucking car is Mr. Burns. Cut straight to the front of the line. I think he runs over a couple of people also.
Yep.
And demands, I think it's 37 vaccines, 1 for him, 1 for Smithers, and 35 for his hounds. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was good.
So funny. And the doctor, Dr. Hibbert's like, but we can't, like, the dogs can't even get the cat flu. And he goes, well, but they're going to see me take it and they're going to want some. And he, like, scratches one behind the ears. I love that Burns is, like, kind of a good dog owner. Like, he's kind of an adorable dog owner with his hounds. And then he goes peeling out of there because people are starting to get restless, and in the process destroys the rest of the vaccines.
That's when Wiggum comes up with the bright idea of rolling in it.
Yeah, just roll in it, guys. Get the shards in you.
God.
Oh, I love Mr. Burns so much. So he's back in his mansion. A doctor comes over to administer the vaccine for him, sticks him, and also says that he got some blood work back, and Burns only has 5 to 6 weeks to live.
The list of things wrong with him is so great.
I didn't bother notating any of them, but yes, he has a laundry list of like problems.
A minute skull collapse or something like that.
Collapsing
His skull is structurally unsound.
Unbelievable.
Skulls can last for hundreds of years. He is so old, his skull is collapsing.
But Burns is caving in like a cheap basketball. Oh, fuck. And he's like, well, I gotta tell the employees, I guess, and throws a huge gala to tell his employees that he's dying. And when he does, by the way, steps out from behind the microphone stand because he can hide behind the microphone stand because he's so thin. Very funny.
Feeble Burns.
Very cartoonish. We get some good Feeble Burns in here. Not as much as I would like. This episode takes a turn that I don't care for. Or not that I don't care for it, but would have preferred to have regular Burns. He tells the employees that he's dying, and they're so excited. It's so heartbreaking. They're so thrilled that Burns is dying.
It's like a dictator dying.
Yeah. And he explains that he's going to leave his money to an orchard that grows trees that make addictive, poisonous fruits that are shaped like his head.
The shittiest man alive is Mr. Burns.
Unbelievable. They're as addictive as they are poisonous, he says. oh my God, I love Mr. Burns. The crowd hates him. They burn down his ice sculpture with cigarette lighters that takes a long time. That's a fun visual. Burns is like bummed and confused that nobody likes him, an idea that we've explored before, that Mr. Burns is bummed that nobody likes him.
Yeah. It's just so baffling.
Right. He just like forgets
That's like sociopath behavior.
Yeah. It's gaslighting, much like you and Cameron.
Yeah.
Every 6 or 7 seasons, we got to do a Burns episode where he's bummed and confused that people don't like
people
him.
don't want to celebrate him.
Right. Yeah. And he even asks, like, why doesn't anyone like me? As Smithers, at his behest, is throwing everyone's coats into the wood chipper.
For rags for something.
Yeah, in order to make rags.
Yeah.
Unreal. It's at night, and Burns is standing on the edge of the cliff. There's just a cliff behind Burns Manor, apparently. And he's gonna jump. He's gonna jump because he wants to go out his own way on his own terms. And he points down at the beach below and says, "By taking out as many of those baby sea turtles as I can."
Just the worst. Absolute worst. All those sea turtles trying to make it to the water.
Oh, I love it. I love Mr. Burns so much. And he like kind of jumps, kind of falls, but elaborately falls off of the cliff, bounces off a tree, slingshots into another tree. It's extremely cartoonish.
Ends up getting hit by a jet.
Yep, hit by a jet, bounces off a ton of different things, really pinballs his way far from where he started. Lands in the woods where he is found by Bart Simpson, who's walking around poking dead things with a stick.
There's a real E.T. vibe from here on out.
Yep, big E.T. vibes. Bart finds him, pokes him. He's still alive.
Somehow.
Yeah, and he's like, he's super childlike. He's very E.T.
Like in a stupor.
Yeah, like he's, as Bart puts it, your brain turned to oatmeal, and then Burns thinks that his name is Oatmeal and refers to himself as Oatmeal for the rest of this episode. Like, yep, just full applesauce mode.
Yeah.
He's like a child. He's like a helpless newborn fawn.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's sad. Like, he's kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, he trips and his nose sticks in the dirt, his pointy nose, and he's stuck and is just like, help, Oatmeal.
And that's when Bart's like, I gotta help. Yeah.
So Bart takes him home and he's like, listen, I can't have any more pets and no one can know you're here. Shoves him in the closet a la E.T.
Yep.
And when Marge comes in trying to she goes, who are you talking to? He's like, I was just playing with my Captain action figure, or whatever the soldier's name is. He pulls the string on the back and this manly little soldier toy voice goes, you should buy another of me.
That was a nice little touch.
God damn it.
Also, God, I love what Mr. Burns looks like wearing Bart's clothes.
Oh, my God. Yes.
T-shirt and shorts.
The crusty shirt and shorts and the hat. Oh, he's so good. Like, this is the turn that the episode takes, and I'm like, I prefer my Mr. Burns
Angry,
to be
evil.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
But, like, this is kind of adorable. Yeah. Like, this old child man.
Yeah.
We get the on the news, they are airing the funeral of Montgomery Burns, and everyone is just lined up spitting in his grave. So much so that they have to drain it.
Yeah.
So people can keep spitting in it.
So gross.
And then they're dancing on it. Yeah. Like, the funeral of Mr. Burns is a disrespectful situation. Meanwhile, Smithers is like drinking at a bar. He's fucking hammered
despondent.
at a bar. It's been a long time since we touched on Smithers and his crippling alcohol addiction. But yeah, he's drinking, misses Mr. Burns, but he has a new boss coming in, and it's fucking Dick Cheney, which I don't. This is 2010. Dick Cheney can't hurt anybody anymore in 2010.
Seems a little late.
Seems late to the game. Maybe they didn't want to make fun of a sitting vice president. Well,
Yeah,
shit, how long? When did Obama got elected? In 08?
Yeah.
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 I don't know, it seems like they made fun of Bush Sr. far earlier than that.
Yeah.
When he was, if not in office, days after he was in office.
Also, you didn't have to do this part at all. This seems forced.
Yeah.
Or you could have had Smithers. You could have teamed him up with the Texas Oil Man for all of these exact same scenes.
Good point.
You don't
good
need
point.
Cheney.
Yep.
You've got a different rich guy.
Yep.
So, not a fan of the Smithers stuff from here on out, but we don't have a lot of it, so it's fine. The Simpson family finds out that Mr. Burns is living with them when he kind of just comes running downstairs.
Out during bath time.
Yeah, he's supposed to be hiding, but he comes down during bath time.
Yeah.
And they take him to a town hall meeting where they decide what to do with him. And Lisa tries so hard to convince them to be nice to Mr. Burns. Like, yes, he's done bad, but look at this pitiful man who can't hurt you. He can't. But the town, they mob up quick.
Yeah, they sure do.
And they decide that everyone gets Mr. Burns for half an hour.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it half an hour? That's the amount of time?
Yeah, well, that's what it says when we're first introduced to that concept, and then the times get fudged from here, so whatever. But that's what they decide. Everyone should get half an hour with this human being to do whatever they want to
Torture.
him. Just for revenge.
Yeah.
Just because they're awful.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to get more fun bits in that in that section. I thought we'd get a montage of people doing wackadoo shit.
But it was, yeah.
I did like that, like, Nelson takes him to be his dad, and Dolph wants him to be like the community center staff guy who believes in him.
Yeah.
Like, we do get a couple
tell
of
me
fun
it's not
ones.
too late.
When it comes time for Lisa's turn, she is like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking treat Mr. Burns like a human being. What's the matter with you people?" And takes him to his mansion, which is abandoned. And he goes, as they're walking down that grand hallway, as soon as they walk in, he's like wide-eyed looking around like he's never seen it before, and he just goes, "So much room for friends."
Yeah.
I love this version of Mr. Burns. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Like, and then they get to the end of the hallway and there's a skull throne, which I like.
Yeah.
And then above it is a painting of Mr. Burns sitting in the skull throne, and that snaps him out of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Daddy's back," or whatever he says, and sits in the skull throne. And now it's Burns' turn.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna fuck shit up. Shows up at Cheney's house with the car in like a white suit with white pork pie hat, this like lady killers, like Tom Hanks lady killers outfit. And Smithers is so excited to see him. He goes to hug him and he's like, tell you what, you can hug my shadow.
Yeah.
And Smithers
Jumps
to the ground, collapses to the floor, and just hugs the shit out of Burns' shadow.
Pitiful man, that Waylon.
Oh, God. Burns, it's payback time. Burns is in a helicopter, and I thought this was a fun bit. He's like, "Tell you what I'm going to do. Based on this Stephen King book I read," and he holds up a copy of Stephen King's Under the Dome. Yeah. He goes, "I'm going to cover this whole town in a thick, unbreakable plastic dome." And I suspect that it's just reused animation from the movie because it sure looks like it. Because that's the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
These helicopters come in with the dome, and someone, I think it might be Lenny, shouts like, "That's been done.
Yeah.
We've done that already." He's just like, well, tell you what, plan number 2. He like waves off the helicopters. They take the dome out of there. He's like, "What if I cover the whole town with a thick plastic cube, and I think it's Wiggum goes, that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. And one of the deputies like, we'll just dig under.
Yeah.
No one appears to ever think of that, but that's what we'll do.
So Burns is like frustrated, and they land the helicopter, and he's talking to Lisa, or maybe it's Marge, one of the two. And they point out that, like, hey, you were told you had 6 weeks to live and you've outlived the doctor's prediction. Didn't you ever think that maybe being a nice person helped you beat whatever you have? And he's like, oh, could it be? I never really thought of that. And he does, I forget exactly what he does.
It's something pretty inconsequential.
He does something nice and collapses.
His skull collapses.
The front of his head caves in like a deflating basketball. He bleeds from the nose.
Yeah.
But he fucking gets up and he shouts. Turns out it was hate that made makes Mr. Burns immortal. That's what it is. It's not kindness. It's his hate that keeps him going. And then so he flies off in the helicopter, and we cut to inside the helicopter. Nelson, in the helicopter, tells him, hey, you were my dad for 2 hours, and I need your support at the school play. And then we cut to Nelson and Lisa in the school play, and Mr. Burns sitting in the audience.
How, like how he's able to, the most evil man in the world, Nelson's able to, like, bully into doing that.
He bullies Burns into seeing his school play.
You know, for an episode with as much Burns, I would have expected a little more, but I enjoyed it.
I'm in the same boat. I like this episode, but not as much as I would have expected to, because usually, you know me, a Burns episode gonna be top tier.
We don't get like the weird old-timey references when he's mush brains, you know. Like, we don't get as much feeble Burns when he's mush brains. So.
I think maybe, to reference it for the second time this episode, I think maybe my primo Mr. Burns shit is that baseball episode, because he's the coach of that softball team.
Yep.
He's making all these fucking Connie Mack
Oh
references.
my God.
He brings up the Negro League, like he wears that old timey baseball
dead ball era
the whole time.
It's like the waistband of the pants is like mid rib height. Yeah,
it's like that. I wanted more of that. I wanted more. You know, we get Mr. Burns at the front and back, but in the middle, that's not Mr. Burns. But I do still like that because it's like pitiful and adorable.
Yeah.
But it's not as high as I would have thought.
Our final episode is episode 7. How munched is that birdie in the window?
It's a long road to get to a pun title.
Yeah, it is.
It's a long road.
And that's a song, question mark. How much is that?
Doggy.
Doggy, thank you. There we go.
They had to change two words in there. Yeah. I don't know what that's from. Probably a musical.
Or like a little, like
some manner of Shirley Temple shit.
Yep, I was just gonna say, or like a what do they call, Little Rascals or some type of thing like that.
Yeah. I've heard the song and don't know what it's from.
So while Homer is telling the kids a scary story during a thunderstorm, and he's really going for it.
Yeah, going hard.
Yeah, and I kept thinking, like, is like the villain bad guy he's referencing something we should get? I don't think so.
I don't think so
There's
either.
Some spooky thing he made up.
Some spooky shit that Homer's talking about.
And during this time, a pigeon flies through the bedroom window, which would make you shit your pants as a child, even if you weren't getting a goddamn ghost story.
Yeah, like, even if you weren't in the middle of a scary story, that would make me shit my pants today.
Right now, yeah. Maybe I've told this story about me and one a house that I rented with some friends. It was 3:30 or 4 in the morning, and we're all had come home from the bar. We're all kind of chit-chatting and not overly drunk, just kind of having one last beer. And we hear a loud thud on the door. Go to see who could it be at 3:45 a.m. Look, don't see anyone. Look down at our feet. There's a giant-ass dead raven, dead center on our welcome mat.
Oh, boy.
Yep. And we insanely dumb. Oh, man, how did a bird hit our door at this hour? Some psychopath killed a bird and put it in front of our door at 4 in the morning.
You don't know that.
A bird hit your door at that hour?
I think it's unlikely, but I think it's equally unlikely that a murderer came by and threw a dead bird at your home.
And and to not finish the job, because we were easy prey.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but if that raven just straight up crashed into that door and died, that's a bad omen. Like, that's bad juju.
Yeah. I think we're just fucked out. One of us fucking soccer kicked it and landed in the driveway, and then like the next day one of us, while very hungover, just kept kicking it into the gutter. I gotta touch that fucking thing with my hands.
I think that's how you get ghosts.
Yeah,
I think you're supposed to put a crow to bed with more respect than that. I think you're supposed to fold it a certain way and set it on fire like an American flag.
I think you're conflating flags with crows.
Same thing.
Sorry about your loss. Here's your dead crow.
Here's your raven.
That sure stinks. Imagine what your husband smells like. What? That desert sun's unforgiving.
I think you're cursed. I think you got a curse following you around.
So they got that pigeon. Like, what are we gonna do with this pigeon? That's what it comes with. That Lisa doesn't like pigeons, and like it lands on her arm. And she's like, well, maybe it's not so bad. And then it like pukes a fucking half digested worm. Fuck pigeons.
Yeah, I don't like birds.
Sick,
Period.
Yep, sick.
Are you a bird person?
No.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, birds.
I'm not like creep. If you have a parrot in a cage, whatever. But just not my jam.
I feel like any manner of indoor bird produces a smell that I can get from half a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, you ever go into a pet store that sells birds? It's like, that stink.
I bet I haven't been in a pet store in 18 years.
Also, fun fact, because I know somebody, I used to work with a guy who has a parrot. Parrots live forever.
Yeah, I know some of those birds live decades.
Yeah, like the whatever type of parrot they have, that bird will live like 60 fucking years.
That's nuts.
That parrot, the way he smokes, that parrot's going to outlive him. Yeah. Like,
that secondhand smoke might be a bitch on a parrot, too.
Sure. Yeah.
Got the first case of fucking parrot emphysema.
I've met that bird. That bird talks and whistles. That's like wild. It's the whole thing. It's weird.
Yeah. And it's off-putting.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't want fucking things that aren't humans talking to me.
Yeah, to just be like, hey, what's going on? Like, no, like, I don't. And people who own birds are weird. Yeah. Bird people are weird people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a normal person has birds.
Yeah. It's a unique character trait. I'm going to be civil for our dear listeners that have birds.
Oh, I love birds. I'm gonna show that affection by taking away the thing that makes them special.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw them in this cage in my bedroom and make them watch me fuck. Like, what are you doing to your bird?
Put it in the living room. Have some goddamn self-respect.
I always thought that on Sons of Anarchy because Katie Seagal's character on there has pet crows, and it's like, and they're in the bedroom.
Oh,
like,
really?
What a horrible place for a shrieking crow.
Oh shit! Yeah, who wants
me
that?
Out of the moment,
right?
I'm sorry, baby. I'm losing it. I've gone full noodle over here.
These birds are screaming at me. Never breaking eye contact. Little beady eyes. Turns out that the pigeon is a carrier pigeon. They find some kind of contact info, and Lisa calls. That's the Pally guy.
I have started referring to him in my notes as Pally. I don't know if that's his name, but that's the shorthand I have adopted.
And she calls him and like, hey, is there any way we can get this bird to you? It's like, hey, little girl, seeing as it's a carrier pigeon, you can just let it fly to me unless you want to get in a limo. Like Lisa's line or something. It's like, is there any other help you can give me besides sarcasm? And his line is like, I would pick them up, but the other pigeons would have to come, and they all want to ride in the front seat with daddy.
And he's surrounded by birds. There's pigeons. Bird shit everywhere.
Oh, yeah. So they got to keep the pigeon, but Bart kind of ends up taking over. He nurses it back to health. We get some good scenes of like it on a leash.
Yeah.
Learn how to fly again. There's a fucking... Now they're buds.
Now they're buds. Now it's Bart's new pet.
Yeah. So there's a great scene where Moe is... he brings the bar into Moe's, or he brings the pigeon into Moe's bar, and it hops up on the counter, and there's another pigeon there. Ends up, there's some pigeon eggs laid, and when fucking Moe just discreetly scoops fresh pigeon eggs and puts it in the pickled egg jar. That's so sick.
That's disgusting.
How fucking outraged would you be? Open up a fertilized pigeon egg.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's not a fun treat at all.
I gotta ban one. So also there's another thing where Lisa wonders why she hates pigeons, which I enjoyed. Marge mentions that everyone has an animal that they hate. You got an animal that you hate?
I don't like bugs or snakes or fucking mice and rats. Anything. That's
your thing?
Anything that can scurry at me and climb up my pant leg, I want nothing to do with.
Which we've discussed already. That happened to me. This 6 months ago.
Fucking oof. Nope, don't like it. You?
I think you gotta kind of like you just did with rodents. There's certain animals everyone dislikes. Do you dislike them more than the average person?
Snakes and spiders and that kind of thing.
For me, it's moths. I hate fucking moths.
Why? They don't bite. They're not aggressive.
Yeah.
They're just like light.
The fact that like, if there's a moth in my bedroom, it dies or I don't go to sleep. I remember as a kid too, my dad just like, go to goddamn bed. It ain't going to bother you. Mm-hmm. The idea of sleeping and having a big furry moth land on my face, I would just saw my own head off. I would saw my own. Fuck that. Right now, thinking about that makes me want to vomit all over your place. Like
I'm not like thrilled if I have one in my bedroom. I'm not like, yay, moth friend. But to be so.
Once as a kid, underneath like the big yard light, I saw a moth the size of a fucking baseball mitt. I think that ruined me. Knowing that there's apex predator moths out there.
Mothra.
Fuck. Yeah, right? Yeah. Like, nope, moths definitely it for me. God, I don't like moths. We're almost getting to moth season, man.
It's almost moth time.
I got fucking
moth time.
You're clapping, you're enjoying them. Like I like the little dusty things. Do you ever call them? Do you ever heard them called millers?
Yep, millers. Yeah. I heard miller probably more than moth as a youth.
Yep, millers. That's a old timey way of calling them. But yeah, millers and moths. But no matter what you call it, you can't change my thoughts on them. Don't like them.
I definitely heard the joke more than once when I was a kid. I think out of my mom once for sure, and probably more often out of my dad because mom knows that you only need to tell a joke once. Yeah. Whereas dad will drive it into the ground. Yeah. Definitely like, there's a Miller in here. Is it Troy or Terry? Because those were our neighbors, the Millers.
Fun.
Yeah. Fun jokes. Fun jokes about bugs.
That's a people name.
I like Mothra from Godzilla, but I always thought that was such a weird choice for a kaiju because all the rest are big lizards, giant robots.
Like are intimidating.
Big 3-headed horrible lizard monsters.
It shouldn't be one I want to hug.
And then a big fuzzy moth. Yeah. I always thought that was strange.
Cute. Kids shouldn't clap excitedly when it flies into town. Did Mothra like expel anything or shoot anything of danger?
Mothra has some manner of laser beam attack.
Yeah. Before we get too far, during Bart's time bonding with and doing things around the neighborhood with the pigeon, he runs into Nelson and he's like, "Go ahead, get it out of your system. I know you
make fun of me."
He just doesn't. He doesn't have it in him. And then it's like well, something's up with him, and he's just like, "My mom ran away with my birthday clown." It's so
amazing.
Insane.
That's a real thing that poor Nelson has been put through.
Yeah, God. And oh my God, like.
Birthday clowns.
At your birthday.
Right? Yep. Birthday clown's just a thing on TV. Birthday clown, not a real thing.
Got him right here in Fargo. Within the first year of living in a town the size of Fargo, which to our people that live in real cities are like, what the fuck? I was like, I wonder if Fargo's big enough you can hire a clown. Sure enough, in the fucking yellow pages, there were like 3 clowns.
3? Yeah. There should be 1.
I think there were 2 magicians and 3 clowns.
Unbelievable. For birthday party. Do they work adult parties? Can I get a clown for my own birthday?
I'm sure it's all negotiable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just make rules. Like,
I don't want to bill it as an adult party, though, because he's going to get the wrong idea.
You want the full clown experience. One thing I want to mention, we brought it before, we have never gotten this much Maggie material.
There's a ton of Maggie in this batch.
Yeah, and that is not a complaint. It's almost all good.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, good. I hope this is a trend that continues.
Yep, more Maggie.
Use Maggie, because there are swaths of episodes, if not seasons, where Maggie's a paperweight.
Oh, yeah.
Just hanging out. Like,
You don't even know she exists.
well, there will be times Maggie's not in the car when the Maggie should be in the car.
Right? Yeah.
Like social services would be called in a fucking sitcom at that point.
Yep.
And then now it's becoming a point. The pigeon is a hit with like the whole community. We get a great scene where fucking Edna uses the pigeon to send Skinner and Noah. Is it every day since we've split up, my life has gotten happy? Just something
amazing,
heartbreaking.
Yep.
Skinner not taking it well. That's one wouldn't. And Chalmers pokes his head and is like, well, Skinner, if there's anything I can help you with. And then the pigeon comes back with a note that she's screwing Chalmers.
Yeah.
It's like, of course. Goddamn fucking Skinner cannot catch a break.
Good for Edna.
Yeah.
Sow your oats, girl.
And at this point, Mo stops by and gives a little advice that they should start racing fucking the pigeon. And they're all excited. Hey, another fun activity for the pigeon. Pigeon's part of the goddamn family at this point.
Yep.
It's right around this time that goddamn horseshit dog of theirs, Santa's little helper, eats that fucking bird. Fuck that dog.
Yeah, it's the worst dog. It's the worst dog on television.
Yep.
There's a moment there where Mo's pitching him on partaking in this bird race, and I forget how Detroit comes up, but somebody dunks on Detroit.
They living in Mad Max times over there.
Holy shit. When Mo, like, I think it's Homer is making fun of Detroit, and Mo immediately, hey, lay off Detroit.
Yeah.
Them folks is living in Mad Max times. Oh, it's so good.
I do like later on when he admits that there was never really any plan to race pigeons. It was just a scheme to con them out of their houses.
Yep.
Like, the fuck, you goddamn
And, like,
maniac.
tips his hat. Anyway, see you later.
Well, I guess I'll be on my way. So,
lay off Detroit. Them folks is living in Mad Max times.
so good. So basically now the rest of the episode becomes, can Bart forgive Santa's little helper? Which I'm rooting for no.
Yeah, fuck that dog.
We'll
I wanted
see.
that dog to get put to sleep 20 seasons
Right?
ago.
Yeah. COVID was still fast and furious when we were wishing doom upon this dog. So Bart, he's very detached now from Santa's little helper, and they watch an insanely anti-dog Itchy and Scratchy cartoon. It's like, what is going on? Like, I'm not an animal now, but it's like, this is pushing it. Like,
and it's all done in like old 30s, like Looney Tunes
to the
fashion.
point, it's like, is this drawing upon something that I'm missing? Is this referencing something?
I thought the same thing. Like, one of them looks like that squinty-eyed guy that's in the New Yorker cartoons.
Yep.
Like, there's references that I'm missing.
Oh, there's a ton of like
whole
30s and 40s Hollywood where you get like a W.C. Fields. I can't even think of the rest of them, but yeah, there's a ton of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch that I missed there, but yeah, they go pretty hard.
At this point, Marge and Homer are starting to worry about Bart. Well, probably mostly Marge. So they first talk to Mr. Skinner, who just loves how sad Bart is because he's just lost his will to be a shithead.
He's so hyped at Bart's depression.
Yeah. He's like, his regular pranks don't even have the spirit they once did. He holds up a bag. What does it say?
Insert poop light bag.
Yeah. That was pretty good. So they're like, whatever you're doing. And like they get in an argument, and Skinner's like, no. Save this kind of hostility for the home.
Where your son can see it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was funny.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that. So they ended up going to see a child psychologist who has to be voiced by somebody.
Rachel Weisz.
No shit.
Yeah.
Interesting pull for The Simpsons.
I don't know that I've seen her in anything other than The Mummy and Constantine. I think those are my only touchstones.
She's in a very good, very depressing movie called The Constant Gardener.
I've heard that. Yeah. I know that title.
I can't think of who the male lead is. Very good, very depressing. That's all I remember about it. Like,
you know a lot of sad movies.
Yep, right. Yeah. Not a Michael Bay boy. I'm a sad boy.
You should watch The Rock.
Yeah.
Or the Bad Boys movies.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Bad Boys movie, which is weird.
Like, 1 is good, 2's outstanding, and I never did see, like, the new one, because there's a new one.
Within the last few years?
Yeah. Within the last probably a year.
God, I bet fucking Martin Lawrence was psyched.
Yeah. He needs it more than Will does.
What was the Mama's thing? Big Mama's house?
Yeah.
They finally quit
that
making
money's run dry yet.
Yeah, that's 2 divorces ago.
And you should watch Pain and Gain. It's so good. Anyway.
I actually remember Pain and Gain, like, critics being like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is a good movie.
Yeah, Pain and Gain's great. It's a fun, like, heisty crime movie with The Rock.
Yeah, and I enjoy The Rock in movies. He's fine.
Yeah, he's good at it.
So the psychologist is kind of just trying to, first off, it's getting Homer to fucking not stick his nose in it. They give him some of those Rorschach, am I pronouncing that right?
Yep.
Eye tests.
Rorschach tests.
He's flipping out like fucking the dodo bird that he is. So that allows the psychologist to deal with Bart, and she sees that there's a ton of resentment because there should be. The goddamn dog's a menace.
Yeah.
Bart still can't forgive Santa's little helper even after the psychologist, so they make a decision as a family to drop him off at a farm, which Lisa immediately, her radar's up like, wait a second. We've dropped multiple animals off at the farm before.
Wait, you're going to put him down?
Yeah.
No, we're taking him to a farm upstate.
And they're like, yeah, we actually found a farm. And by God, they did. So as a family, they go up there. Turns out to be an ostrich farm.
Yeah.
Which, hell of a farm. We had an emu farm back home. Ever any emu
I've
people?
seen emu farms. Yeah. I've never seen an ostrich farm. I know that they're real, but I've never seen one.
Probably like 15 years ago, I went to look at a car that I saw advertised somewhere.
Yeah.
On a farm. Like, okay, no big deal. This is farm country. Goddamn peacocks everywhere. Fucking everywhere you look, there's a peacock in a tree. Had to have 35 fucking peacocks on this farm.
They're terrifying if you're not ready for them.
They're a scary bird. I don't like them.
They're a scary bird.
I don't like to be surrounded by peacocks.
Did any of them floof up like do the NBC logo?
They were fucking.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's so fucking taller than I am, over 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
like
it means that bird's ready to fuck, and he's looking at you, baby.
Yeah, I know these legs don't quit, but no,
I dated a girl in high school. They had a handful of peacocks on their farm. And I was like, why?
Milk?
Boy, what a chore to run them in every morning and evening for the peacock milk.
Just tugging on these teats. I ain't getting nothing.
Tugging on these little bird titties. I think the only thing you harvest from them is plumage.
Which
I think that's all you get off them.
Do you gotta kill them to get those feathers?
Or maybe they
shed them.
What's the word? There's a word for shed.
Molt?
But there you go. Maybe they molt them. I don't know. I have no idea. But they're terrifying if you're not ready for them.
They're a big bird.
And they get up in the air, which you don't think they will because they're big.
Yeah, they get in all the outbuildings and shit. There's fucking peacock shit over everything you own. And they're laying fucking middle-aged man dumps. Like, again, big bird.
Just a coil.
Yeah, just like across the windshield of your car. Just disrespectful.
Just struts away like, yeah, that's right. Fuck you.
My house now.
Peacocks are dicks.
Yeah. So Bart is still there on the farm, and Bart is okay with this. They're going to get rid of Santa's helper. And he's like, you don't ever kill birds. That's the thing that's sunk in the goddamn Santa. Too late, Santa's little helper.
Yep.
And during this time, Homer and an ostrich get into it. An ostrich takes Homer's phone. They get into a fight. Ostrich gets out of its pen, and now the ostrich is hog wild. Ends up kind of cornering Bart in like a corral, and Bart can't really get away at that point, so he's screaming to the dog to get some help. And the dog's like, oh, he thinks back. I was told to never kill a bird, so I'm just going to chill out here.
Yep.
And now the bird, for a second, the bird's attention was turned to the dog. Now it's back at Bart. And fucking A, I wouldn't want an ostrich mad at me.
Fuck no, man. The ostriches and emus are scary.
Yeah.
Those are dinosaur birds.
Yep. So goddamn
Like
big.
that's like a fucking sparrow. Get out of here. Who gives a shit? But these things, because ostriches are fucking big. They're so big.
I don't know what Bart, does Bart hit it with a dustpan? Something like that? Some little
when they
tin,
were
little metal
feeding
thing?
it earlier, it's like
Oh,
a
like a
dustpan with a
scoop or-
bowl in it
Yeah.
kind of thing. And yeah, he fucking knocks it around with that thing and it takes it from him and bashes him
Gives it
with it.
back to him. And that's where Bart remembers from his childhood. The old choke him out. So
Yeah, from 22 years of childhood.
he starts choke. I couldn't believe that it worked.
Yeah.
That there wasn't a turnaround. But no,
No,
he just slowly strangles an ostrich to death on network television. Like, so great.
I'm pretty sure he says, "Why you little?"
Yeah,
and like Homer's
like
beaming.
beaming is the right word. That was so great. And when that goddamn lady that runs the farm, like, hon, take a look at this. She looks over. It's a fucking tombstone. Just goes, oh,
Like she forgot. She forgot that her loved one is dead.
and his tombstone just says paw.
Yeah, Paw R.I.P.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
So Bart kind of gathers himself. He's like, oh, wow. I guess I owe you an apology. Like, I guess I can kill birds too. It can happen. Like, that's a false equivalency.
Yeah, this
You
is
were
a bad
attacked
lesson.
by a giant dinosaur bird.
Yeah.
Your piece of shit dog ate a bird that wasn't bothering anybody.
Your dog still sucks. Like
Yeah.
this is a bad ending.
Yeah. And they're heading back to civilization. They're all, it's like, oh, we don't even have to stop for lunch because they got a fucking dead ostrich on the top of the car. And Lisa's like, you gotta for me. Like, I'm not going to eat goddamn ostrich meat. That's when the ostrich turns out to be alive and it fucking bursts through the ceiling and starts choking Homer. And the episode ends with their car careening down the highway.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
No, probably my least favorite of the whole batch for me.
I would put the treehouse just below it, but it's right
Okay,
there.
fair
Yep.
enough.
Yeah.
Not a fan, but I think all in all, a decent batch.
Oh, I would say so. Yep.
I think it's a very good batch. A lot of Lisa. You know, the baseball episode, the fucking Lisa doesn't want to be like Marge episode, and then she's in this bird one quite a bit. A lot of Lisa.
This last one might be the only one where Bart's the A story.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I could think of, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that baseball one a lot.
That baseball one is primo. I genuinely really like that
Definitely
one.
one of the best of the last 4 or 5 seasons, I would say.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I kind of like the one where she went to school, too. Or like the fancy school, the Lisa Simpson, This Isn't Your Life.
Yeah, that was a good one, too. I like a Lisa episode.
Yeah.
I got a Lisa episode and a Burns episode in the same batch.
Yeah.
Look at that.
The Burns one, good. Left me feeling wanting.
Yeah, still good, but
Yep.
not as good as I wanted it to be going in, but still good. Yeah, that was a fun batch. Let's do some more next week. Why don't we?
I'll watch them.
Yeah, why not? Episodes 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of season 22 is your homework for next week. And you got anything going on?
I do not at
this
all.
week?
No jokes. Just laying around.
No jokes. This is serious.
Yeah, just hoping to get the ambition to get out of bed. I don't work. We're recording this on a Friday night. I don't got to work till Wednesday, and put work in big air quotes.
Look at this guy.
Oh, it's end times here. We gotta now. It's Operation How Do I Get on Welfare?
Ooh. I believe that as this comes out, so this comes out on Tuesday. I believe if I was told correctly that you and I and our friend Josh DeLay are on the new episode of Joke Quest 200 that came out yesterday as this is being released.
Fun. We had a lot of fun making that.
That was a lot of fun. We recorded that a few weeks ago when we were in Minneapolis, and that comes out, or is out as you're hearing this.
Josh is a nice boy. Joe is a nice boy.
Exactly. Very nice boy.
We're all nice boys.
You and I are nice boys.
Everyone's
Yep.
a nice boy.
We had a lot of nice boys in that kitchen, you know, because we got to record this one in person.
Yep, face to face.
The last couple of times we've done Joke Quest has been fun, but it's like over Zoom and it's always better in person.
Shirts off.
Yeah. Dicks out.
Oh, really?
You didn't see it. That
Oh,
table.
yeah.
Yeah. I had a big paintball bruise on the side of it. It was fun. Yeah, so go get that new episode of Joke Quest 200 with Joe and Josh and Nathan and Marlon.
And share our podcast with your friends and family. I
Tell them.
haven't pestered you in a while
Let
about
them
that.
know. We haven't pestered you in a while.
Yeah. We just spread the good word. Share the good news.
Yeah.
The good news. Have you heard the good news? Episode 95 is out.
We're trying to pump them numbers. So help us pump, please.
Give it a good pump. Pump it up.
Reach over and pump it.
Just try it. I know it smells.
What?
Never mind.
Why would... Anyway. Oh, God. Episodes 8 through 12 for next week, everybody. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you then.
Bye, everyone.